Good morning and welcome to today's live show. We got to get that video up for you guys. You guys want to see this face this morning? Boom. Well, it's coming up, I think, maybe in a second. There we go. First of all, I was trying to put the captions on because someone was asking for captions this morning. We see volatility going through the roof, but captions might take me the weekend to get it for a live video, so we'll do that. We can now start to put them on uploaded videos, though, so we'll get that going for you. Now, the key thing here, volatility going up. We, as of this moment, have the SPY trying to do a gap down below that daily expected move coming down into this area. And I want you to really pay attention because the dollar is dropping and it's dropping fast. So that could mean there is some kind of move to the upside coming for the SPY. Remember, this is the rigged behavior we pay attention to. The last thing we need to see in the first 15 minutes is where that PCC is. If people are overzealous to the put side, we actually could see a bounce. Now, we did get some data this morning. I want to go pull that up because it looks like we're having some reactions to that data this morning. We said that the unemployment rate has ticked up by 0.2%. That is huge. Okay, so the unemployment rate is 4.3. So it is very interesting, as you can see as I pull it over to the screen here. Unemployment, non-farm payrolls. Okay, let's just take non-farm payrolls out of the equation for a split second. That is coming way down, first of all. But the second thing is the unemployment rate is ticking up, and it's ticking up by 0.2. We were talking about the SOM rule the other day because they mentioned it in the Jerome Powell stream. We actually just told you guys what that was. It's pretty simple. It's just when the unemployment rate, okay, this unemployment rate here, if we look at the monthly scale, what you want to do for that SOM rule is you want to find the lowest point in the last 12 months. Okay, so we see all these dots here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we could say 3.5 is the lowest point, but if we go back a little bit, this SOM rule has been triggered for a while now, for a few months. But 3.5 now coming into, as we open up today, probably going to show it as 4.3. Okay, so it is 0.5 higher than the lowest point of 12 months. So that is something to pay attention to. That is a huge early signal that we are going to see some bad price action. Now, I don't want to read too much into this just because I want to pay attention to what the stock market is telling me today. As of right now, we have to see if there's going to be some kind of move to the upside, actually, because we do see the dollar coming down dramatically while the stock market comes down dramatically. So I think that's something to pay attention to. We'll see TLT making that move up. That could be a rotation into TLT with the dollar there, but most of the time it means, hey, someone in there is actually buying at these levels. We are outside of a daily expected move for the SPY as of right now, which just means, hey, we have that 68% chance for the rest of the day to come up. But we really want to see if that 2-hour divergence is going to be created. We could see a few, like 4 hours worth of selling come down to that weekly expected move and then see some kind of reaction up. But this is overall a great trade for my volatility play. I didn't really believe in the reversal signal here. That's why I didn't mention too much about it, but we could be creating still that 4-hour divergence. You see that coming down here. So if this is able to turn down, if that dollar has anything to say, we might actually have some insiders buying in this area. We have the 10-year and the 2-year getting so close to uninversion, it's not even funny. 3.83, they're now both below 4. Then we also have 3.94 for the 2-year. So as of right now, that is a massive drop. TLT looking pretty. This actually should technically be good for IWM, but it's really bad because it's unemployment, okay? So unemployment is what we want to pay attention to. This is what we say on this channel all the time. They want you to pay attention to CPI. They want you to pay attention to PCE, PMI. But those things really don't matter in the grand scheme of things. What matters is, do people still have jobs? If people still have jobs, the economy's in a good place. We're seeing unemployment tick up, and that means that people are starting to get in not a good place. And people are already struggling, so now add unemployment to the struggle with inflation. Uh-oh, we have a recipe for disaster. This is a point where the Fed could be forced to cut, and that can be seen as good news initially, but it does tell us in the next 6 to 18 months, once this does uninvert over here between the 10-year and the 2-year, some bad things can happen. Okay, so overall, we just want to make sure we're paying attention to the signals in front of us. If they confirm, we got to do exactly what our indicators are telling us. That is what you need to learn about momentum. If it does catch a momentum move to the upside, even though volatility going insane, if that dollar has something to say, that is not going up while the stock market goes up. That is going down while the stock market goes down. So that is something you want to read into. I am most likely going to take profit on my volatility play and look for if some 2-hour divergences are setting up. Real quick, I'm going to look at the futures just to see if that is setting up for us. On the 4-hour chart, we see we are going to lower levels. It would still make that point of divergence. We had the point of divergence here, that played out, and now we can have multiple point down here, see if that's able to turn up into positive territory today. We will be paying attention to that. If you want to join the Patreon, we just put out all of the daily expected moves on Patreon. Please let me know if those are doing well for you this morning, if those are looking kind of good. But at this moment, we can see we're down below the daily expected move. Well, on the SPY, you can see it on the SPY because these aren't the daily expected moves. I got to update those for the futures here. But what we want to see here is the SPY is down below that expected move, and we could be creating a 2-hour divergence at this level. So we will pay attention to it. We'll look for some signals in some other stocks, maybe like Apple creating a 2-hour divergence, maybe like Tesla creating a 2-hour divergence, maybe like Amazon. Well, Amazon's probably gone, right? Look at that thing, 165, which is actually down towards, I believe, a daily expected move. Let me go check that out for you real quick. 166, so you're right below that daily expected move. That's how they're useful. You notice this could have popped up at 160, this could have went down to 174, but it is at 166 right now. So it is touching that level in the post-market or in the pre-market. So that's something to pay attention to. Nvidia could go create that divergence. We have AMD could go already creating that divergence, but it could start to turn around. We have Meta that looks like it had a strong move. Maybe it's getting a 30-minute pullback at this point. See that curling down, see if it can curl down just a little bit more. But Microsoft really dropping off here as well. So it just depends if they do not want the market to go down right now. Unemployment ticking up is a very bad thing, but just know this market is manipulated. If they do not want the stock market to go down, they most likely will shoot this thing higher. This is a bear market behavior. Rigged move is showing right in front of us today with that dollar going dramatically down, about to touch an important area. So we'd have to see. It seems to be some extreme buying going on in this area in some way. Now we want to read into that by saying, are the signals confirming that are telling us these things? That's just what we have to read into. It doesn't mean, hey, throw everything at something. It means, hey, this is coming down. This could be seen as insider buying, and we could see the SPY actually gain this back. But until that signal really proves itself, we can't really say anything, right? This could just be some kind of bounce that then they sell into, and then boom, we head to lower levels next week. So I'd be very, very cautious going into this morning. Looks like we have some interesting things going on. If you didn't catch the Q's daily expected moves here, since we just talked about the SPY a little bit, 467.68 to the upside, and we do have 451.64 to the downside, and we are below that now. So we'll pay attention, but it really looks like to me, dollar coming down, SPY down at the same time. We could see a rig move up. It doesn't mean we have to see it. It doesn't mean I take trade setups all the time with these type of things. It just means, hey, if I see this, and I see the dollar dropping at the same time, and I have a volatility play, I might want to take some profit on that play, which is exactly what I want to do. And I think I looked that up this morning, and I'm up like 600% or something. So very, very cool there. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for liking the video. Rather have some inflation than rising unemployment. That's bad. Yes, Thomas. So if you wanted the stock market to go higher, it just makes total sense. Just let's put on our common sense caps for a second. If there is inflation increasing, okay, if there is inflation increasing, wouldn't that mean that the value of assets will increase? This is why we are at new all-time highs after a major point of inflation for a couple of years here. Okay, what we need to understand is inflation means the assets will be inflated. Deflation means those assets will start to be deflated, right? They will start to come down. But the thing is, with food pricing and things like that, you need deflation in order to do that. Going down to 2% is not enough. Going down to 2% keeps those prices right where they're supposed to be, and then they will go up by 2% every single year. What we want to see is deflation in order for those prices to come down, which unfortunately usually means you need a recession or something like that. You need some kind of crisis or a recession, and that means, hey, you're going to have unemployment. Good morning, Junior. Emergency rate up. Powell knew this all along. Yeah, he did know all along. That's why yesterday, if you noticed during the video I mentioned, he said August. He said, "Oh yeah, the data looks right. We'll cut as soon as August." So if we keep getting data like this, we actually might see that rate cut in August. And I think you're actually seeing that priced in from the 2-year right now. Look at that 2-year really dropping off here. So we'll pay attention to it. We'll look at that PCC at about 15 minutes after open, and then we'll know a lot more about this as volatility starts to drop off just a little bit here. Now, you don't necessarily have reversal signals for volatility, so this could just be some kind of drop that leads you to another point of a high here, right? Create some kind of divergence, but for now, that is a major drop off in the dollar. Unless that thing starts to scale up dramatically, we're actually seeing it drop down dramatically. Yeah, I'm on earlier just because unemployment data is what's actually important. Yeah. Like this is the data where I will get up early for. I have been waking up at my regular time. Baby girl slept pretty good the past few nights, so I'm waking up my regular time, which is usually somewhere between 5:30 and 7:30. So today I was able to wake up 6:30, and I was like, okay, and let me look at the data. Let me look at what's going on. Boom! I see this huge drop in the dollar, so I'm just like, ooh. This could be some kind of insider buying, so I want to make sure to be live with you guys, and we can watch this right at the open this morning. And what are you noticing? Well, we're starting to see that SPY just trickle up a tiny bit. Just depends on that narrative. Josh, good morning. Diana, good morning. Well, I got out of my BA this morning at 76. All right, I actually haven't looked at that this morning, but Nazim, welcome. Robert, yes. And Jerome Powell does know these things, by the way. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's not stupid. He's not stupid. He knows what he's doing. He knows what's going on here. He knows they're in a tight spot. That's why he says they're in a tight spot. That's why he always says, no, there's always a crisis that could happen and it would be totally unforeseen. Why would he even mention a crisis if there was no chance? If it's still soft landing, why would he keep mentioning the fact that they will react in a crisis, right? I think so, and what we can do, Robert, with that is see if this bounce that we get, if we do bounce because that dollar is showing some insider buying, if we do get that bounce, well, what's going to happen with that, really? You know what I mean? Like, what exactly is going to happen from that? We had volatility down or up by more than 10%, so 85% chance for an update in the next 2 trading sessions. One of those sessions is right now, and then the next one's going to be Monday, so we'll have to pay attention. I don't think I'll be taking any plays with this bounce. I'm a little bit iffy on this bounce. I'm going to wait till the signals are very, very clear. Unless I see something super clear, I'm not really trying to make money again. I mean, this is what, trade number 3 or 4 this week. That's really, really been good for me. So I don't necessarily want to ruin that this week by taking a play over the weekend and then all of it's gone tomorrow or something like that. So I don't want to do that. I'm going to take my money. I'm going to wait for another good signal and be patient. But good morning, everyone. Thank you guys so much. 4.3, guys. 4.3. We're not worried. 3.9 to 4, that's not bad. 4 to 4.1, that's not that bad. Okay, 4.1 to 4.3. You know what that means? In 3 months, we've gone from 3.9 to 4.3. That's freaking crazy. That is bad. That is so bad. And we talked about that months ago. Unemployment is what you want to pay attention to. We marked off the point where that bottomed out sometime last year. So it is really, really a time to pay attention, have your wits about you. We'll have to see how the Dow is opening up today. As far as it goes for the for stocks that we're covering, right? As far as it goes for, say, IWM, you can look at the futures on that. Oh my goodness, that is bad. Oh my goodness, that is bad. But we're going down and testing the 50, right? For the S&P 500, we are going down a little bit lower than that 50, starting to break down a little bit. We'll see if some 2-hour divergences pop up right away in the morning. I think that would be very, very key to pay attention to. Just remember that even with this 2-hour divergence, guys, a lot of the time you'll want to make a 30-minute divergence within it. Now, do I think that's actually going to happen? I think it'll be some kind of just 2-hour turn up, honestly. If we're going to turn up, I think that 2 hours is going to turn up and you'll see it because that dollar is dropping off dramatically. So we're seeing a lot of things going on. Now, GME is breaking down even further below that weekly expected move. There are daily expected moves on Patreon for you for GME. We see AMC starting to break down as well. So breakdowns are happening across the board, and that's something to pay attention to. I love how scared everyone is, and it's a great time to buy. And that's being proven right now. It was scary yesterday. It was scary yesterday at this point. At this point, because of the Dow and all the things that were happening, this was worthy of being a little bit scared, right? You'd say this is worthy of being a little bit scared. I mean, in say about 2 days, you're going from a high up here all the way down 3.5%. That's 2 days, right? That's not even 2 days. That's like 10 hours of trading. right? So we want to pay attention to that. That is a scary thing, but right when everyone's super scared, you need to pay attention to what's going on behind the tape. What's going on behind the tape is the dollar is dropping off dramatically. If this was really some kind of crash, you would most likely see the dollar scale up very quickly. You see that weekly turning down, okay? So right now we're actually seeing a time where we could see some kind of buying, some kind of upward move. It doesn't mean that we have to go to all-time highs. This could just be something that is going to be a bounce that convinces people we're going to all-time highs, and then it falls. So we'll pay close attention to it. These are the type of things we watch every single day. Appreciate the earlier stream. Yeah, Roby, of course. Yeah, I felt like today was a great day to hop on an hour early. Unemployment data, most of the time with unemployment data, I will be hopping on early. Make sure to like the stream, guys, since I'm on early this morning. Thank you guys so much. You have an NVIDIA expiry today. What, for upside? Yeah, it's unfortunate. That's why I really like even my volatility, guys, even my volatility play, I still have 2 weeks from today. I still have 2 weeks from today. Doing more of positions will help out. Now we can read into this a little bit and say that weekly's turned over. This could get ugly. It's just the dollar's not proving that at this moment. We'll see what happens. I want to wait for reversal signals before I truly think about buying anything here. Anything. Just because this can escalate. This could be some kind of rigged bounce or something like that. I've made good trades this week. I'm not going to ruin it over the weekend. Is it wise? Well, it depends on your reasons for taking a trade, right? You have to come up with your decisions in order to make a trade, right? This channel is just about helping you learn how to do that, how to make better decisions, and we're going to talk about that. But I would tell you this, if the SPY does come down and creates that divergence point for you, you will be very close to positive territory. You're also below the daily expected move, meaning there's a 68% chance to land in this area by the end of the day. So actually in this area, you have a higher probability of bouncing. The environment we're in, volatility is very high, so you can see a rip to the upside because volatility is higher, right? So bigger swings. And you're also seeing the dollar drop off pretty dramatically here below a key level, so we'll pay attention to that. It does, Jonathan. It literally changes almost every single day, which is how a bear market behaves. So usually during a bullish time, you'll be like, we got to pay attention to this reversal signal. Okay, it didn't play out, swing to the upside, right? Most of the time, it's a bullish thing. But in an environment like this, much more like a bear market, you actually will see these rip arounds where it's like, oh, it's to fake you out. It's to steal as much money from retail as possible. That's what a bear market does. It is set up to hurt the most amount of people. Sometimes it even hurts institutions too, right? Actually, a lot of the time, bear markets hurt institutions as well. So that is something to pay attention to, because if it's something bad enough in a bear market to rip around institutions, that is where things can get really dramatic. Most weekly charts have turned, I would say, for pullbacks, right? I would say for most likely pullbacks at this point, but we don't want to read into it too much. We just want to play the signals that are in front of us. If things start to curl up with 2-hour divergences, guys, we need to react. And even if that's a small bounce or something like that, we can watch that bounce. We can watch the behavior of the dollar. We can watch all those things. Because if we start to see a bounce on the SPY and the dollar starts to do that, well, it's going to be the same thing, right? Right now, it's just looking like some kind of bear trap to the downside. We'll see how that PCC opens up. But as of right now, you have to say, this is ugly. Really, we don't want to read into that until we see reversal signals for the most part. It looks like a rigged move. It looks like all the bear trap signals that we usually see, right? We keep it pretty simple. It looks like all the bear trap signals that we usually see, but we need to see reversal, because if this were to continue, you can see we have some key things. I want to point out Microsoft dropping below this area is very, very bad, and it had a good signal here. So we have to pay attention to these things, but AMC really starting to drop off here down below $5. Well, not below $5 yet, but it's getting there. Meta seeing a bigger pullback as well. SMCI dropping down, Mara dropping down. What did Bitcoin do? Bitcoin actually saw a bottom for a brief moment, bursted through, now retested that area, and now we might actually head to the upside. Is the 4-hour able to cross up? It is as of right now. So Bitcoin is actually saying, hey, I could have a bigger bounce here. I could actually have a bounce that maybe gives us that structure, right? We see this, we see this, we see this. Okay, boom, boom. Maybe this happens. But if that just keeps going, we don't see reversal signals in here, then we shouldn't assume. We should just see, hey, is that daily going to turn up? Is the daily going to turn back up? That would be a big deal. As of right now, the scenario I'm leaning towards, just so we're clear, is that dollar came down dramatically, the SPY is down dramatically. Now we'll see a rigged move up for a few days, and then maybe that actually does make some kind of right shoulder. And that means for the SPY, we actually could see some kind of bigger move to the upside for a while here. I think you could see some kind of move like this, and then everyone's convinced you're going to all-time highs, and then we start to flatten out and start to die off a little bit. So that would go into around my birthday, which is cool. You called this. I have SQQ and SPXS and SDOW. A little too early, but working out now. Yeah, so what you want to more pay attention to are the signals you're seeing in front of you. And I'm just telling you right now, the signals that I am seeing in front of me are telling me to take profit early this morning. Okay, you notice I took profit a day early on my NVIDIA play. What happened to NVIDIA? Well, I took profit right around here. And then NVIDIA actually went even further to the upside. Do I even pay attention to that really? I'm like, no, I made plenty of money. Now I'm seeing the dollar go up while the stock market goes up. So that means we could see a rug pull. And that's exactly what we saw. So I'm convincing myself to take profit by my analysis here. My analysis here is telling me if I have any options that are expiring soon, then the dollar is dropping, which could mean some insider buying. It doesn't mean it has to, it just means it could. And usually that is how a rigged move shows itself, how a bear trap shows itself. So if I have anything to the downside, aka I have volatility to the upside, which means SPY to the downside, then I need to take profit. And that is what I'm going to do this morning right at 8:30. I'm going to take profit on at least that play. I'm going to set that up right away in the morning too. I believe that option is now worth somewhere around like $6. I think I bought it for $1. Now it's worth $6 or something like that. Yeah, so utilities are the sector that we brought up, the S&P 500 sectors, right? I just like to type in this one. I need to get this set up, but for the most part, I just look at this type of thing, right? We just look at this setup, and I like this because as you hover over it, you know, it'll tell you what things are performing. You see CrowdStrike in there and things like that. NVIDIA down 6.67%. We just noticed that healthcare going up, defensive stuff, household beverages, blah, blah, blah. And then we also noticed that, where was utilities? Where the heck was utilities? Down here in this corner here, utilities seeing some green numbers across the board. So utilities, these are safety plays at this moment. So just deleting out of that real quick, we can look, XLU has seen some big positivity for a long time. Okay, so we could catch back up. Notice this, we are catching up to XLU, making that downward move. Now we might want to catch up to a big move to the upside. That would be very interesting. And as we zoom out on that, we're going to see some potential divergences and things like that. We'll talk about that maybe over the weekend. Weird to see that dollar drop off dramatically, isn't it? So it would kind of tell you, ooh, maybe this has more to it than we see. Maybe there is more buying that is going to come in. That's what it's telling me. But it doesn't mean I have to take a play with that. It's more so I'm using that as a way to say, maybe I want to take profit in case they do a rigged move up. I've already made a good play. I don't need to make money every single day of the week. I can make money on 2 or 3 trades or 1 trade throughout the week and be happy. Gold should be performing, but I see this as today probably going to start to drop off here. We'll pay attention to that, but you're seeing that upward move. Do you have reversal signals for this 2-hour to curl over yet? Not necessarily, so gold can still catch a bid. Watch out for rejection divergence or some kind of little divergence that's created here on the 30-minute for gold. One thing that was seeing some dramatic upside was oil, and oil up here actually failed to move. So this is interesting. Oil did have this going on, right? We see the big pop, then we see it curl over, and that's telling us, ooh, right here, we should say, ooh, that's not looking good. So at this moment, we see the daily scale still tilted down, wasn't able to curl up, which just tells us, hey, there's more negativity to be had here. Amazon seems good to buy at this point. Well, it's just, if you want to, you know, just there is potential for falling knife, but this is our daily expected move for the earnings. We do have the daily expected moves over on Patreon, just so you're aware. And it happens to be right around, one of my support levels, right? I felt like this was the key support level, right? We marked that off a long time ago. I think it was up in this area. We just marked off, actually, no. It was up in these areas when we were going to see that drop. We came down to 166.12, like right above it, and then we saw that bought back up. Then we marked off this area. We come down to that area. Now we pop up. Hey, we gapped below 174.51, so it makes sense to head all the way down towards 166.12. Let's go look at CrowdStrike real quick, just because this thing is dropping off. It's been dropping off for a very, very long time. This is not necessarily a good setup here. Had some very bad things happen to it overall, right? So we just noticed flatness, breaks it, comes down, awesome. Now we want to see, is it going to hold the tapering? Is it going to see some kind of bounce? This is one that I said, I will not trade this one because it is just falling. There is no good tapering in here. It's cutting through every single support. It's actually gapping below every support. This level right here, what do we do? Gap. All right, we go to this level right here. What do? We gap. We could have held up at this level right here. Nope, we use it as resistance. We gap below it, and we start to head lower. Now you look at this, and you're like, oh, okay, maybe we could hold up in this. Ooh, we gap again. So you're gapping through a lot of support here. And so you got to think, where is the target? Well, we might need a more sturdy support. Maybe if we zoom out on this, we could find that. Yeah, it'd be right here. There's a little tiny low right here. No, it's right here with that high. Boom. So if you take this point right here, we see it's a point where we consolidated and broke through. We kind of gapped up to it. And then we also see across, it matched as some resistance. We also see across, when we broke through it, it was a dramatic move to the downside. You notice right here, resistance, resistance. You notice right here, we tried to consolidate for another move higher, failed, and we see a big drop when we lose it. When we break through, we retested it. So this level is going to be important, most likely, for CrowdStrike, which would be about 206.67, just marking it off quickly. So have we officially entered a bear market? Technically, no. You need a bigger percentage drop, but it is behaving like a bear market. That's why I'm trying to be careful with my words when I'm talking about bear market. We're behaving in this pullback, overall just a pullback, or maybe you could consider a correction depending on how far down it is. But overall, we would say, hey, we're 5% down. So I would just say more so a pullback. The corrective move, I would say, is going to be somewhere around 10% or something like that. But in this pullback, it is behaving a lot like a bear market is all I'm saying. I've traded that bear market back in the day. That's where really these strategies that I use are the most beneficial, because it teaches you how to get out and in of those momentum plays, and you can see bigger swings. So it's very fun to trade in, but this is behaving like a bear market. We're seeing the big swings. Do you think they may do a temporary rate cut? Once they cut rates, the rates will be cut. They're not going to raise rates again unless hyperinflation comes back in. I don't even think it'll last until September if this type of stuff holds. If we don't see those yields react back, you could see a rate cut as soon as August. That's why when he was talking, I kind of tried to turn the mic on and say, like, he kind of was not shutting down August, right? He was like, things look good August. I was like, that makes me worried there could be a cut in August. But September does make the most sense. That's the one people are mostly pricing in, but I guarantee you that pricing in of those rate cuts is going to increase and probably come a little closer towards August. September would make sense though. $10 a day keeps the bulls away. Yup. Yup. VIX is now up 2 days in a row by 10% at this moment, so. Can we look at SoFi? Yeah, let's look at SoFi this morning. Uh-oh. There it is. So for SoFi, we actually turned down into negative territory on the 2 hour, and we're still going down. No, really, the biggest reversal signals down here, very flat divergence, no divergence on the MACD. So this never swung up to even give you the trade, really, but the 2 hours still dropping down on that into negative territory. So what you want to see is the daily crossing over. It looks like you're in a daily pullback at this moment. Thought I heard a slam. It depends, Tony. It just depends on the environment. It depends on why they're cutting. If they're cutting and say it's just like, oh, we're announcing a cut, it's very gentle, then you could last for, you could actually see upside for another 6 to 18 months before that tops out. But if they're cutting because of a reaction to something horrible happening, like unemployment going up, bank failures, or something like that, if that is why, they will most likely say that and then say we're having to react because unemployment's going up faster than we expected, and then that could cause some turmoil right away. So it's more so listening to why they are cutting, if they're reacting to something horrible, or if they are just saying, yeah, this is how we see it playing out. You notice how the sentiment of a person trading could feel what they're saying. If they say, oh, we're having to react to a bad situation, that's going to make you feel kind of scared, right? So that could pull the stocks down and cause people to sell. But if they say, oh, we're just reacting, this is how we saw it playing out, then people would feel confidence, in my opinion. Are these symptoms of a crash? I think well, yes, the unemployment rate is the symptoms of some kind of crash. It could be a crash in the form of a bear market, though, and we're seeing bear market behavior at these early stages. We have to see if we can come out of that behavior, right? If we can go back into just like a bull run type of behavior, some kind of swing to the upside. So are we seeing the crash signals? Yes, and all you have to do is look at the unrate, right? We have to look at the unemployment rate, and we just say, okay, well, the last time this was triggered here, boom, unemployment. Triggered here, boom, unemployment. This was 2000. This was 2007 leading into the housing crisis, right? And then over here, we're now seeing, well, it happened here as well with COVID, right? And then it didn't necessarily happen with all that bear market. Remember that. It didn't happen with that bear market. So that kind of told you like this is most likely going to all-time highs. That's where we found the bottom in October in 2023. And then at this moment, now we see that triggered right here. Now we have the SOM rule kicking in. Now we have unemployment up to 4.3. So that is going to start to scale up very quickly. And you do have the recipe for a crash. We just want to play the signals that are in front of us. You have the dollar dropping off very rapidly while the SPY is dropping off very rapidly towards that daily expected move. So we're going to pay attention for you. But for now, this doesn't mean reversal. It doesn't mean I'm taking a trade. It doesn't mean anything. I'm just using it to say, hey, I might be convinced to take some profit. Maybe sell a couple of contracts and leave a couple runners is what I'm thinking for my volatility play, just to see if volatility goes nuts. Coca-Cola and other things like that, you could probably look at, I don't know, probably something like coffee or something like that. I don't even know which coffee one I look at. Java. So if you look at coffee or something like that, you've just been consolidating. So this, you notice, not seeing some dramatic selling. See if that can break to the upside. You're going to see a lot of things like Coca-Cola, coffee, all these type of things. They could start to head to the upside. It's more of like a steady steady probably dividend, right? Yeah, dividend companies, dividend stocks doing pretty well here. Creating divergences though, so once people rotate out of this, you might actually see people rotate back into the SPY or the Qs, like tech stocks. Oh God, don't make me look at Zillow, guys. You guys, if you guys have been here a while, you know my Zillow, my hate for Zillow. If you guys didn't know, and why I'm very passionate on talking about earnings and really mentioning how it's a 50-50 flip all the time, that's because of Zillow. Zillow was the one that ruined me. Ari's yelling at mom. Because of this. Now, you will see some good signals here. Right now, you're just seeing, hey, it curled down and below all the moving averages. We're seeing some downward price action. We don't see reversal signals on the 2 hour. we don't see reversal signals yet on even the 30-minute. So you might say, hey, there's an elongated divergence here, but I would really like that to be in the near price action, get me closer to positive territory. Doesn't look good for Zillow. Which, if we go look at the housing sector yesterday, you guys remember the housing sector yesterday, I said this is pretty ugly for the housing sector, and we're seeing that drop down. That can really affect home builders. So yeah, that will affect Zillow. Okay, now we're back within the daily expected move. See how we're starting to buy up a little bit. Look at my UVXY play. Boom, 32, pretty nice. $14 minutes till the opening. XOU is screaming higher. People running to utilities. That might top out soon. We might even follow utilities. Utilities just making a new all-time high, right? So we might still be following utilities, by the way, just because this didn't play out correctly over here. We're still waiting for that signal, and maybe this is the SPY pulling back to lower levels, and then we see something like this over time from the SPY. We kind of catch back up. Over here, utilities dropping, SPY going a little bit higher, now the SPY catching up, and then now we could see if that catches back up to XLU. And maybe this was the overall signal we needed, right? That divergence very close to negative territory. So I'd watch out if utility starts to cross, SPY keeps going up, and then SPY crosses to follow it. People running to utilities as of right now. Man, Arya's she's just screaming. Not really screaming, she's just being whiny. Exxon, we're kind of looking for, it's still in an overall bullish trend. You can see low, higher low, higher low. So if we want to head higher, this would make sense, right? We get the full, I would say almost cup. This might have violated a little bit, but overall you're coming up into resistance. You might reload, see if that 30-minute can curl up again. You might see a good move here, but pay attention at this level, right? If we do something like that and turn down, that will be 30-minute divergence. So this looks like if we can see some positivity, you might just have a 30-minute swing. Well, I do think there is selling with unemployment ticking up, but I think right now we need to pay attention to the dollar because the dollar's dropping, which is telling me someone is moving out of cash dramatically. And even in crash scenarios, you see the dollar start to pump up, right? So if we just go back a little bit towards some key areas, we'll notice in, say, something like 2020. What happened in 2020? Well, initially it dropped off, and then it spiked, okay? So it spiked up. So we see that spike up, all right, by 2020. So that was March. That's when it really started to happen. Hey, that spikes up. Okay, then we look at, say, 2021 to 2022. Oh, dollar spiking up. The stock market was pulling down. Okay, then we can go all the way back maybe to something like 2008. All right, 2008, it spiked up. So if we're going to see the actual crash, most likely we'll see cash, aka the Dixie, turn up. And we're not necessarily seeing that right now. We're seeing it turn down while the market goes down. So that's just telling me, hey, be cautious. There could be some kind of move to the upside. There could be insider buying today. So it's more so like, is this bad, Jonathan? Yes. Yes, it is. It is very bad. But I think retail's reacting to it right away while other people are like, we can go a little higher as those yields drop. You know, other people are saying that. So that's how I'd read into it for now. Now, you don't necessarily have divergence on the 2-hour for the MACD, but you do have it on the RSI forward volatility. If you want to zoom out to the 4-hour, squeeze signal is going to be if this thing confirms. If the 4-hour confirms down, I think we're going to squeeze maybe even all the way down to 1212, and this could extend. We could see upside for a while. We'll pay attention to the signals, though, every day, because as unemployment is higher, we always have to watch that reaction from the dollar, see if that thing screams higher while the market goes higher. Was it FOMC or the Middle East that triggered the downside? I am someone who I don't necessarily, like, I know I say this, but I don't necessarily care. what triggers the downside. I care about the signals. The signals are going to tell you because other people are making moves that know about things that are going on before that news comes out. But you could say, yes, the reaction to the Middle East, the reaction to data, the reaction to FOMC, you could say all those things. But for the most part, you're going to see reactions before they actually happen. One of those examples was oil turning up before that news came out. Oil turned up right here, and then about 8 hours later, that news comes out in the morning, and then boom, oil keeps going higher. So it kind of will help you to more so follow the signals. The signals will call things before, because it just makes sense, right? Big players will sell stocks earlier before the news comes out if they know that news, right? Can we look at Apple? Yes, we can. Let's go look at Apple this morning. So for Apple, still paying attention to a 2-hour divergence. We're just noticing for Apple, hey, I think they missed on, nope, they didn't miss on anything. So Apple turning down 2 lower levels. We'll see if that creates some kind of divergence. That's pretty much all I'm looking for. I'm looking at, hey, I have daily expected moves. I have weekly expected moves. I can hold up at those. We'll see if we touch one and then start to go to the upside. But I think Apple's a pretty big range for the week, so I don't even know if we'll get towards that. You could head all the way down another 10 points from where you're at for Apple for the day. If Apple wanted to hold, now about 205 looks like a key level. 205 looks like a key level for Apple. Eight minutes to open. 8 minutes to open. Chugging some water this morning. Yeah, it happens all the time, Kyle. That's why I really warn people about earnings, because it happens all the damn time. Yeah, they've been missing on iPhone sales for years now, by the way. Thoughts on he? Really, really flat. If that 2-hour can curl up, you got a chance, right? If that 2-hour can fully, I would really wait for that confirmation, but that 2-hour curls up great, but you do have earnings coming around the corner. So if you do see that big move, hey, take it as a get out of jail free card. As of right now on the daily scale, you're seeing, hey, we could use some kind of pullback, but this is some great pullback with time, some great flagging in here. So if that 2-hour can cross up, good things. If the daily pulls down, well, you would say a daily pullback is coming, and you do have earnings, so that's going to be a 50-50 flip. Great morning. Enjoy your weekend, says Can't Get Right. Gotta enjoy that weekend. I'm excited. This weekend's gonna be a fun one. I'm gonna go visit some friends. I'm gonna go shooting. I'm gonna go do a bunch of stuff. I hope you guys have a great weekend too. Doing okay today? Look down. Just a little bit tired. Not really that tired, but I'm more so, I get like this when I see rigged moves a little bit, especially on days like today where it's like unemployment is higher, because you have to understand like how I feel talking to all of you guys, right? There's over 100 people in here right now. I have to make sure what I'm saying is following the signals very well. I don't want to convince, and that's not the goal of this channel. The goal is for you to be able to, trade on your own, for you to realize like what I am doing and how I explain things, and then utilize that by using it on a stock that you like. That's the goal of the channel. But I know some people might just want someone to tell them what to do, and they might take something out of context and think that because I say there is maybe some buying, that they're going to wake up right when 8:30 hits, they're going to take calls, and then this thing has to go up. That's not the case. And so it kind of puts me in a spot where I'm like, I want to be cautious about what I'm saying, but I want to tell you guys how it is, right? The dollar is dropping down dramatically. That is something to pay attention to. And that's really how I want to say it. This would tell us that we could see an extension of the upside. Yeah, so what's overall going on with XLU is more so at this point, we're seeing it take some time, but you'll notice how XLU turned down and then XLU turns back up. Well, what did the SPY do around this area? Well, the SPY went a little bit higher. Now it caught up to the downside, but XLU seeing that groundwork. So the SPY could go up to an all-time high if it's still catching up to XLU. Overall, we're still looking for that divergence at the high, right? We're still looking for that divergence. This double top was a hint that something bad was going to come. And then now we see that bad thing happening on the SPY. So it's just taking a longer period of time. It's taking a few weeks to actually play out. Now we see this base out. So if the SPY base is out, we could make a move like this. We want to see what XLU does next to prepare in case we are following XLU, which I do still believe we are. I think we're just waiting for that divergence to set up. But who's to say that's right now? This could go like this, then do this, then do that, and then the SPY could do this over time. So at this moment, though, I see divergence across the way. Okay, so I'm still not exactly happy with the market going higher if it does. If it wants to catch up to XLU and XLU drops off dramatically right here, but the SPY starts to catch up to it, well, then the SPY might be due for a big drop. Well, thank you, Spicy Avocado. That's very, very nice to say. I appreciate that. Everyone has a stock they hate. Mine's Zillow. I hate Zillow. Zillow was like right when I was starting to really, really become great at trading. I was doing really, really well, and I thought I got cocky. And it taught you something, right? You got to take a learning experience away from pretty much everything. And that taught me, hey, you got cocky. Don't think you know everything. Always think of both scenarios. That's actually why I talk about both scenarios, as Spicy Avocado just said. I think of both scenarios now because of Zillow. And I think of earnings a lot because of Zillow. And Zillow was, when I finally was starting to get that account really, really well, I think I lost like 25% of that account in like one day. And that was upsetting. That was very, very upsetting. But now we're doing much, much better than that. So back in the day, that was something like I think it was somewhere between $7,000 to $9,000, I believe, in like a matter of an hour. Like I bought it the hour of the close, and then I lost $9,000 or so in like the first hour of trading, and I was just like really, really bummed out. Started a personal 100 to 1,000 challenge yesterday. So far, first trade up 15% profits. Day 2 today at $30 unrealized profit loss. Yeah, you can turn 100 into 1,000. Just know, take your damn time. If your goal is to get to 1,000, then wait for a great signal, right? That's what I would overall do. I've done that before. I've done that on my fun account. When I was testing whenever I'm testing a lot of my new strategies or a new strategy with divergences around weekly ranges way back in the day, I was using about $500 and it worked. But then eventually it hit a time where it did not work and I had a big loss, but thankfully it worked for so long that I made tons of money off it. So you gotta really wait for a perfect setup is what I would say. And if it's not a perfect setup and you know it's not and it bounces, then I was someone who took profit earlier. Marina, good morning, saying like and subscribe this morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope everyone's still doing good out there. Going down towards that daily expected move first thing in the morning. Gonna pay attention to maybe even just hourly. See if this hourly can turn up. But 2 hours the main signal. What is strange is AMC has an earnings call this afternoon. This is what I'm saying. Like, what if this is happening too? Let's think about it. Let's think about all scenarios here. What if this isn't a rigged move down? What if that major cash move down is actually a flight into, say, AMC or GME? But GME, we're seeing that actually drop down. But remember, they don't let the dark pool activity really hit the tape here. It's outside of a weekly move. It's going down towards the daily expected move, I'm pretty sure. That could be happening, but I just want to put that idea out there in case like this is just some kind of move down, but we're at the daily expected move on that wick. Hold on, I gotta take profit on a bunch of stuff here. My GME calls are up, so just be cautious out there. All right, so for today, we have seen two great trades. We're going to pay attention to these reactions. Interesting. All of the meme stock calls are actually up right now, so there could be some kind of flight to there, just so you're aware. All of my upside calls for GME and AMC are up right now. Okay, AMC just went down. But I can't buy it for a cheaper price, so I can't even cost average in. All right, let's pay attention to what's going on with the SPY. Are we seeing some kind of bounce at this level? Right now, you do have that point down here. Now we can pay attention. BGT, want to add one more part? Fun play, yeah, sizing only. Very, very good. I like to hear that, Marina. I'm glad people are kind of taking into their mind like, hey, fun account, right? Fun account. If I'm gonna take a play, I downsize the position. I do it as I'm gonna do it for fun. Maybe take this for a month or something like that. But DJT dropping down dramatically. SPY dropping down, still gapping below the daily expected move. That is a big deal. We're gapping below daily expected moves. Apple actually going to the upside here. So Tesla, I'm gonna look for this one as well. Let me look through, see if there's any 30 minutes. Let's see how the dollar's behaving now. Still dropping. Still dropping. Let's look at volatility. Starting to see some flatness up here. Just in case. All right, we're going to look for volatility here as the 15-minute is showing some divergences in this area, getting a little bit of rejection, so we'll pay attention to that. As of right now, dollar is still down at lower levels while the SPY is at lower levels. This can hold for some time. We could gravitate towards that weekly expected move, so don't expect this to have to go down or go up right away if this is going to be a rigged move. But what we can pay attention to are these guys. I am seeing some interesting things on the AMC and GME side of things. But overall, we want to wait for good signals, right? We always want to just be waiting for those good signals. So what I would more so do is say, hey, I have a position in this. Now if this drops down to say something like 437, I can add to that position. Very, very cheap. But yeah, I took profit on everything this morning. Solid little gain there. All right, what we want to pay attention to as well are things probably like Amazon down by 166, probably things like Tesla, if that's going to create some kind of 2-hour divergence down here. Look at that. That would be a great one to look at. But I'm not necessarily seeing reversal signals. The 30-minute has to go positive for me to see that. Right, the 30-minute needs to go positive here. As long as this doesn't see dramatic downside, I think it's okay. and then we want to look at the PCC in about 10 minutes. Now, just in case there is an upward extended move, I'm going to look at things like Tesla. I'm going to look at some things across the board here. Look at maybe going against volatility for a moment. But as I have made plenty of money, I don't want to use too big of positions again. I'm still using small positions. I've done it all summer. I've used smaller positions and made plenty of money. AMD actually going positive. AMD actually going positive here. 2-hour divergence here for AMD. We'll see what happens with that, if that can gain back over time. NVIDIA, we're seeing a similar signal here, trying to double bottom out. Probably an hourly divergence here. Look at that. So watch out. Don't think things have to crash down all day. Dow Jones really dropping off here, going into a point where we need to pay attention. What I want to do for the Dow is overall create that trend line up here. Now I have two highs to really pay attention to. If we see this as a rigged move to the upside, if this is some kind of bear trap, god dang it, hiccups. Could see an extended move like this. That would make some sense. We'll see if that's able to turn down at any point. But right now, negativity is the most likely option. Right now, negativity most likely option. Right now, negativity is the most likely option. I don't know if that order is able to fill here. So Qs, we're seeing this triple divergence on the hourly. I really like that look. Kind of flat here on the last one, but still very close to positive territory. Okay. PCC has not updated yet. Okay. So we're seeing this start to climb back up into these daily expected moves. What you need to see here, though, is that going to curl up? That does mean we can see a more extended move over time. So pay attention to that going forward. Alrighty. All right, so far now, things that I need to look at are volatility. First thing is volatility. Is that going to turn down on the 30-minute scale for its overall pullback at this point? You would be still talking about pullback. We can still see another downward move. if this isn't able to build back better. But just so you're aware, the 4 hour, if that starts to curl down, say next week, we could see some positivity over time. Another one is going to be Tesla. I think Tesla has a pretty good look to it. I really like this 2 hour look. If you wanted to get a little bit closer, you can do an hourly, see if that's, you know, overall going to curl up. That would mean to me, if this hourly curls up, hey, that 2 hours got a good shot to cross. And if that sees an extended move, that would be fantastic. We got that V bottom on GME on the open. So GME here as well, dropping down, not necessarily Ving at this point. AMC trying to curl back up, but we'll see what happens with that going forward. Ooh, wait a second. Oh wait, I want to look at 2 hour. 2 hour could go negative here, so not necessarily a reason to add to any position at this point. Did I check McDonald's? All right, let's go look for McDonald's real quick. Hey, turning to the upside, great. You rejected the crossing down here, rejecting the divergence. That is a good sign. Daily is definitely curled up here. Awesome. Daily divergence is down at the lows. I think we pointed that out a while ago, but overall, not a 3-day. We need to go weekly. We just want to see if these bigger time frames are turning up. How are you doing today? I hope I'm doing well. I made money already, so. Yeah, I wanted to get on early so people could understand that unemployment is a bad thing. But right when I wake up these days, I check the dollar, and I am glitching out right now. I am glitching. Right away, I check the dollar. Hold on, let me refresh my thing here. Amazon is tanking. Let's see if that looks any better. I appreciate you guys. Right now, McDonald's curling up on the weekly MACD, right by the 200. So McDonald's does not look like a, it looks like a strong move. Looks like you're crossing up, aka you, as of right now, you treat it as some kind of bounce, but this is a swing trade signal. AMC dropping to 499. Now we got to get into these shorter time frames, maybe a 30-minute or so. Ooh, starting to build back, huh? Got back into the daily expected moves. So this area here, very important. Remember, the most likely area to end for the day is in this area right here. We could still see more consolidation. We're still waiting for that hourly to turn up for that really good signal for upside. UUP holding steady. Wow, what a market. See how much more fun a market like this is. A market that actually flows down and flows back up. You see bounces, you see people buying, you see people selling. It's a very, very good thing. But dollar up while the SPY's up. We got to see if that starts to change as the SPY starts to try to bounce. If that starts to change, right, and the dollar is going up while the SPY is going up at that point, we need to pay attention to it. You're welcome, Polito. I hope you guys are benefiting from some of the info, some of the knowledge that I'm able to share. I'm not right all the time, but I know how to spot these rigged moves for the most part. Okay, we got about 1 minute here. Let's see how that PCC opens up. Let's see if people are overly bearish. If they're overly bullish, we have to pay attention to that as well. Yeah, and the cool part about being like on YouTube now is it's like proof that I know, like a lot of people that I talk to in real life, they don't follow charts or anything like that. They ask me things and I just say, oh, well, this could go down over the next few weeks. And they're just like, no, it's going to go up. And then things start to fall down. I'm like, hey, something bad. So I did contact the people that I'm supposed to contact because this behavior can cause unrest, and I don't want something bad to happen over the weekend. But it looks like we're getting rid of a lot of those signals, which would mean positivity and maybe nothing bad happens over the weekend. It means that we might have bought ourselves another month if this is able to curl up. It really does. The 2 hour, if this is able to curl up right here and go positive, get back above these moving averages, I would say get above 550, then we probably bought ourselves a whole nother month, and we might end up going all the way towards 573. by the end of the month, right? We have those new monthly expected moves. If you don't have these on your charts, I would get them. It doesn't mean you just shoot up there in one shot. A lot of the time you'll do this, consolidate, do this, consolidate, then you head to the upside, right, with a strong move. Or you go like this, you fall short, then you see that divergence towards that monthly expected move. That's what we saw last month, right? We saw that last month right here. This is where we mentioned it. This is where we really mentioned, and I mentioned to my friend, and I believe on the live stream, we talked about it like a couple months ago, the fact that we are a higher probability for an assassination attempt on Donald Trump. And right here, we mentioned it again. I talked to my friend about it. He called me right when it happened. He goes, holy crap, how did you know? I go, because the stock market tells you everything. The stock market, everything is related. Everything is patterns. I just said, hey, I didn't say it's going to happen. I said a higher probability that something bad happens. One of the things I'm looking for is an assassination attempt. So that's why I use that stuff. No. Don't think I'm always going to be right, guys, because then you're just going to be like, oh, I need to do whatever he's doing. No, make sure you are learning these things. We're not trying to, I usually, the reason a lot of the time in the past, I don't discuss what I'm doing because I don't want people, that's why I don't like show my accounts or anything like that, because I don't want people to treat this page as I'm going to follow what Lucas is doing. I don't like that. I more so would like people to learn the skills. It'll be very good for you in the long run, because I won't always be able to go live. I won't always be able to make a YouTube video. You have to learn these signals, and that's why the goal of this channel is for you to learn, not for you to just take whatever someone on YouTube is taking. If you did that with Meet Kevin, you'd be wrong a lot of the time. Actually, let's go see what his video, let's see if he posted a video last night. Meet Kevin, as of yesterday, remember, my video was saying, hey, we could actually see some bounces if we see a rigged move this morning and 2-hour divergence can set up. He's saying, we're effed. That was his video title. We're effed. So
you're here tomorrow.
Oh wait, do I still have this on? I just wanted to see his video for a second. Yep. Looks like overly bearish sentiment from him. Now, I'm not saying this can't be bad, right? I'm not saying we're 100% right as of now. We need to see if this plays out. It's still retail hour. Now let's go look at the PCC. Uh-oh. 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 Now all things are adding up to if this is very key to understand, if the market maker and I would say big players in the stock market want to, they could send calls, because then they can make all the money off of the puts and all those people will lose money, especially if they're doing 0 DTE today. It would make sense to rip that against them. And and here's the thing, you guys ask about news. Now, I don't care what the news is. You have a high probability today to see some kind of news that is going to benefit the market. You do have a high probability of that, so look out for some news. But we need this hourly to turn up to really see if we're going to build this thing back up. I almost said build back better because someone said it in the chat. Hey, Nick, thank you so much for the $4.99. Gotta tip the waiter. Thanks for all you do for us starting a small position in stocks. Thoughts. So this guy here, right? This one here, bull shares. If you're building a small position, what you want to do is look for the actual, I would say SMH is a good one to watch. You look for the signals that are going on there. I have a divergence there, right? I have a 2-hour divergence here, right? So these are things you more so want to pay attention to. If that confirms, then that would say, hey, this might be a good time for that to see an upside move. This could turn around a daily chart, which happens to be dying off for a long time, right? And maybe you want to look at things like NVIDIA because that is something that makes up a big weight of that. You want to look what NVIDIA is doing. Well, NVIDIA is making a very tiny 2-hour divergence. Maybe I just want to make it look cleaner by looking at an hourly. You guys know I like 2 hours and 30 minutes. But sometimes if it looks cleaner on the hourly, I'm going to look at that and look, if we made that divergence, we see that cross up, that would be a big deal. So I would pay attention to things curling up today if they are going to, right? If they actually make the move up, that is the signal to pay attention to, not just the fact that the dollar is down, or the dollar is down while the SPY is down. That is something to pay attention to, but something to react to is the actual confirmation of the signals. But if this was some kind of major crash, right? People asking, is this a major crash? Apple's going up. So Tesla's trying to base out. So Amazon, yeah, that looks ugly, right? But AMD is going up. So AMD has a divergence down here as well, just so you're aware. Oh, AMC starting to build that thing back up. Excuse me, sorry. Whew. But that is a very large put call ratio, isn't it? And the fact that the dollar's down and the fact that volatility looks like it's not really screaming too much higher at this point. Let's see if the Dow has any basing out signals. Maybe it has a little 15-minute in here. Yeah, a little 15-minute rejection divergence would be nice for some kind of bounce. It's at a key level. Give me 1 sec. I'm gonna make my Husky German Shepherd lay down real quick. Actually, I'm gonna go say hi to wifey. Ari was just yelling at her for a long time, so I want to make sure she's all right. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. All right, we're back. We're back. Did everything crash down? Did everything crash down? Oh gosh, no. Yeah, baby girl, she was making some butternut squash for her. And baby girl was like, I need more attention. They have to give you a reason why. Well, that's the whole point. Their policing is not policing. The SEC is not forcing them to give a reason why. So, not very happy with that, right, are you? Because the police, if they just don't police, then nothing happens. Or they hit them with a $1 million fine when they just made a $10 billion. As far as Disney goes, the 2 hour most likely crossing over with this. So 2 hour crossing down, that is a bad sign for Disney. But what you can look for is right when everyone gives up. Remember, the double dip is when everyone goes, oh, this thing's crashing down. Earnings is right around the corner if it can make a good signal. That being said, earnings is a 50-50 flip, so I won't necessarily be paying attention to Disney, but my overall take would be if it makes a divergence, you have the potential for momentum to die out. And if it can get good earnings, good news with the earnings, you can see a solid move. We can start to see some dailies start to cross back up. If this wants to cross down for a couple days, we'll see what happens. But earnings 50-50 flip, be careful. Volatility breaking out. Dollar still dropping. So I think it was Tesla that I'm paying attention to. It is Tesla, okay. I would like Tesla to get to this little zone here. I would really like Tesla to get to that zone. Come on, Tesla. Get down to that zone and then see a rip. The Dow down 1.22%. IWM looking ugly. Someone did ask about Amazon. Amazon down 10%. How do I treat this? I overall don't like to do anything because look at the price action. Look at the chart. Look at the MACD. Look at the RSI. Is there anything here that is telling me set up on the shortest time frame I have, say the 30-minute? No. Now, I would say this, these numbers, green and red, okay, awesome. If this is going to be insider buying in any way, people might like this price, but we did lose 166.12. Overall, though, none of the signals here look good. So if I were to buy this, I'm just hoping that that sees some kind of bounce for pretty much no reason. I need reasons to take the trade. We talk about it in the courses, those courses right now. Remember, those are still 90% off. I'm going to hold those at 90% off through my birthday. So pretty much like the end of August, because my birthday is in August. It's in a few weeks. Pretty pumped about it. It's in about 20 days if you want to do the math. But yeah, these are some nice plays for my birthday month. If you're looking to trade in a market like this one, we might turn back into a swing trading market. But for now, this type of trading is more so the technical analysis course for $100 right now. It's $100 for the month of August. CRKN. Electrokinetics, not electronics. Ooh, God. Yeah, this one you don't necessarily have great technicals, right? But you'll just notice some things here. Okay, once you get close to that center line, you do have opportunities, right? You see this cross up led to a big bounce, never crossed back down, then it led to a big move. So if you're taking chances with anything like these guys, you still want to see the same things. You want 2 hours going positive to see big moves. You don't have that right now. All right, Qs, maybe the job isn't done. Maybe we need more people to think this is going down. Maybe we need to go test a weekly. Remember, as we get closer to that weekly expected move, we do gravitate towards it. We do gravitate towards it. Let me double check and make sure these are the correct monthly expected moves here. Yeah, these are the correct ones. You're about to head down to the monthly expected move very early on in the month. Maybe I'll look at Tesla. What's Tesla doing? Okay, it says Tesla can go down to about 200. AMD could have gone lower than this. Seeing some kind of bounce. We'll see if these things can rotate back up. Apple rejecting the cross of the 2-hour. We'll see how that prints in the next few minutes here. PCC going even higher. So you're seeing that go even higher. Okay, so now we're seeing people kind of, as we could see, bounces because that dollar really dropping off here. Oh God. If this is rigged behavior, if this is insider buying in the stock market itself, then we could rip to the upside, but we need these signals to complete first. We need at least 30 minutes to curl up or something like that, right? We need something to set up for us because we're getting more and more negative here. So you really need that to set up. But notice we wicked out, so we're not able to fully take back the daily expected move. Still 68% chance for that to cross up by the end of the day. Trying to see if I want to do something here. I more so want to look at volatility. I think that one would be good. See what happens. Cool. All right, we're chilling. If it is, the times where bonds do go up, right? The times where bonds do go up, and that's good. This is my investment, so I'm happy about this. What I want to look for is normally in crashes and things like that, yes, we will sometimes see TLT go up, right, in 2020. But I want you to notice that this week right here, March 9th, okay, and then we go look at the dollar. Let's go look at March 16th. So shortly after that, it could be, hey, did you notice the dollar went up that week while TLT went up? Do you see what I'm saying? So it's not necessarily true to say that as the dollar goes down, it goes to TLT. It can for a moment, but a lot of the time, if the dollar is going to go up dramatically, you will see that at the same time. So this going down could be a flight to that TLT. Then we see that reaction. That is very, very true. I'm not going to take that out of consideration, but right now we're just seeing the dollar drop off dramatically and people get overly bearish. PCC going to 130 at this point, which is where we see those reactions down. So you'll notice that pretty much the dollar went up and TLT went up. That's what I'm trying to get across in that. But right now the dollar is going down while TLT is going up. But in the crash scenarios, a lot of the time the dollar's, well, actually every time pretty much, the dollar still goes up. Looking at IWM, very ugly bar right there. Very, very ugly, okay? Very ugly, which is interesting because the yields are dropping off dramatically, which is technically a good thing for small caps, but I'm guessing unemployment is a very bad thing, right, for small caps. So just be paying attention. Looks like AMC, GME, all those things starting to drop down, but trying to buy back up, right? So we have Qs. We'll see if that's able to buy back up, right? None of these signals have confirmed. I just have orders ready, right? I have orders ready. I'm not necessarily like buying. I'm just repositioning the order every single time I turn around. Market is down a lot, and thank goodness we were paying attention to that rigged dollar there, telling you that the insiders were selling here. Now it's saying insiders could be buying. What are they buying is pretty much what we're talking about when you talk about TLT. They could be buying TLT, and that's why the dollar is dropping off. But most of the time in history, you see the dollar will go up while TLT goes up. AMC going to close green. Hey, anything can happen. It's very, very tight in there. Just to talk about AMC for a minute, if you pull this out to a daily scale, you look at those Bollinger Bands, you're still very tight in here. If you really zoom out on things, you've gotten really tight. You're right by that 200. That's why I repositioned this play for the option. I'm just going to hold that thing. I know what I can lose in the option. And then holding the stock too. Thankfully, a lot of what this week is doing allowed me to buy a little bit more, and I think that's cool. Yeah, are we gonna see a squeeze or something, man? All right, as we head down towards the weekly expected move and the monthly expected move, remember that, we're heading towards both. Look at this position again. Amazon monthly expected. You got to go over to Patreon for the exact level, but I'll give you a little hint to where it is, somewhere around that 162 level. Oh, look at that. Amazon, 162. Interesting. So that's as low as Amazon is pretty much supposed to go for the entire month. Same with the keys. Let's see what happens. Remember, we are going live later today at the close, so make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you have those notifications on. We are going live for the end of the day, for the last hour of the day. We like to watch the rigged hour on Fridays pretty much every week. Trying to do a lot more closing streams, and eventually what I've decided to do is I believe that Patreon has given me the capability to go live on Patreon. I'm going to test it out maybe over the weekend or sometime next week. But if you would like to, we are mostly going to do possibly the closing streams actually over on Patreon. So if you want to join for those, we're still building that. So for the whole month, we're going to mostly do things on YouTube. We're just going to test it on Patreon, make sure things work well for Patreon. But right now, we just want to pay attention to what's going on today. But just to be aware, I'm going to test things out on Patreon and see if we can do some live videos over there. Because once I'm able to do that, if we can get pretty much 2 or 3 times the amount of people on Patreon, then I'm solid to get rid of that marketing position that I do have and be ready to stream pretty much almost full time. Yep, closing stream today. Now we have to make sure these signals confirm. Remember, I just have orders placed, right? I have orders, well, not placed, sorry. I have orders placed behind me that are in ready to execute, right? I'm ready to put those positions in play as we approach this weekly expected move. Now, we don't necessarily have 30-minute reversal signals here, so you have to pay attention to that. We could see some kind of bounce and then turn back down next week and then want to turn up. So we'll pay attention going forward. Dollar still dropping off. Dollar still dropping off. Volatility going up into my trend line. Awesome. God, I wish I kept that play now. Unlucky. But volatility just screaming, screaming, screaming higher at this point. Cool looking hat. Thank you, thank you. This is my hat from, I believe this is from, I want to say Boston, or actually I think this hat might be from San Francisco. I can't remember. My brother gave me this hat. I really like this hat. It's very, very comfortable. Intel's getting destroyed. Yeah, I did see Intel was trending. And that thing is just getting absolutely destroyed. I don't have levels for this or anything, but this is one that I will not be looking at. There's no real good signals going on here. Depends on which expected move you need, Kied, but for the most part, you want to see, hey, here's all of them right in front of you right now. So the red levels are going to be your dailies all the time. If you're new here, the red levels are going to be your daily expected moves, the very thin, bright red. And then we do have the monthly, which is the yellow, and we have the weekly here, which is the purple. That will be changed every single week. The monthly we just updated. If you want monthlies for the stocks that we do cover on this channel in our YouTube videos, you can get those over on Patreon. And then the thick red is actually the annual expected move. So for the whole year, we were priced to go up to that level. We get above that level and boom, see that come down. So very cool. Oh my God, for real, Bean? Oh my gosh, wait, how far down is this? I didn't even look at the percentage, but I'm guessing it's like, oh my gosh. Oh God, that guy just lost like 200 grand in a matter of hours. Oh God. Just, wow. That is just awful. I hate to laugh about it, but it's just awful. Well, as of right now, what's happening? Well, we're doing something that isn't unexpected. Okay, this is not unexpected, and that's a key thing to understand as of right now. If we start to cross below these levels, that will start to get unexpected, right? But for now, we're going exactly where we need to be for the week. That's how you have to take it. And now I have a 68% chance to land up here. It doesn't mean, hey, I'm going to YOLO everything. I'm going to wait for reversal signals and then put a position in case we see that bigger extension. He's 19. Oh God, you're young. You have $700,000, and you're gonna YOLO it, dude. 4 points away from the extreme greed. Like I said, the rigged move has to prove itself. If it's going to be some kind of insider buying with that dollar dropping off, it still has to prove itself. We still have to see volatility turn down. We still have to see the SPY turn back up. We still have to see the Qs confirm back up. So at this moment, we want to just be cautious because this could just be escalating. Oh my gosh. This is going to be so much worse than 2008 or COVID lockdowns. Yeah, so we're at higher levels. You have more bubbles at the same time. You have a housing bubble for sure right now. No, we can look at that, Nazim. Let's look over at Microsoft. We haven't looked at that too much this morning. Looking at Microsoft this morning, what do we notice down here? Well, we were able to curl over on the 30-minute, which just tells us, hey, negativity is the most likely option, right? But as we are flat on this MACD, let's see what happens over the next like 15 or so minutes. You want to see if that's able to turn back around. But right now, the most likely option, hey, Microsoft is breaking down through a key support level, through a key trend line. So if that is able to happen, well, that could mean extension to the downside. So what I'm overall saying here is for us to catch if there is insider buying, we're going to need to see that that insider buying is hitting the tape and curling up on this MACD on Microsoft, as you do have flat divergences across the way. You have upward into a flat divergence on the MACD here. NVIDIA breaking down to lower levels. Remember, you're still forming that divergence. Look at the room here. You still have room. If that's going to turn around, that's when you want to react. Right now, you want to say, ooh, this could get really, really bad. It's getting really, really bad. But if that's able to turn up, I'm ready to react. That's how I'm treating it at this moment. I'm not going to get overzealous for upside or something like that. SPY hit the weekly expected move. Qs hit the weekly expected move, heading towards the monthly if we start to break down through here. At least Burlington puts are finally paying. Kaput. Dankeschön. I actually got second place in a citywide Stein hoisting competition. I think I got third, actually. Yeah, I got third. But I just remember there was this dude that was like 250, just jacked right across from me, and he just started doing this, like his hand was just shaking like this, like a minute in, or like 20 seconds in, and I was just like, bro, what? I was like, how are you that big? And like nothing, what the heck? Why am I not playing downside? I did. I took profit. Sloth. I took profit. And Sloth, I did this morning. I had you in mind. I tried to put subtitles on the live video, but I have to find a program for that. It doesn't allow me to just put them on the live. So I'll have to find that. After I post it, right, I can go into the settings and add subtitles, but I did try for you. So how puts work is I want to more so take puts here, sell them down here, right? That's more how I want to do it. I want to buy them when they're cheap, sell them when they're higher value. Buy low, sell high, if you want to keep it simple. So I'm selling those positions. I sold them in the morning. Yes, I could have made more money, but that was plenty of money for me to make, I'm going to tell you. AMC is trying, but until that curls back up on this 30-minute at least, we can't say there's upside. But if you do curl up on that 30-minute and that extends, and you're able to hold that, then you're going to be closing on the daily above the 200. Yeah, so how puts work is once you see the reversal signal saying, hey, their calls are going to start to take profit, we could reverse from here. That's when I want to apply the position for downside. I don't want to see downside dramatically and then be like, okay, now I play the downside, because you're seeing this very, very high put call ratio right now while the dollar is down, while the market is down. So if we read into this how we have in the past, then that says we could build back and we're going to get some kind of news maybe today or over the weekend that causes a reaction to the upside. So now I'm fishing. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I'm waiting for that signal. I'm seeing if this just curls up like that, I might take a position in for next week, right? See if that's able to curl up. And I'll do that by playing volatility. But volatility is not showing reversal signals. I want to be clear about that. Volatility is just screaming higher. A lot of negativity for volatility. But if I added a position right now, because I'm looking at some of those volatility positions, they really have not gone, like puts have not gone down in value too much. So what I'll probably end up doing is looking for about a month out option for volatility, but still only holding that for a few days if that's able to come down. Yeah, I buy a put. No, I buy it. Yeah, I buy puts. I don't sell calls or anything like that. If trend, you can follow the trend. You can follow the trend. It's just today we're seeing that probably in here. So if you wanted to play the trend, right, you could say, hey, this is a negative trend in some way. Probably on the hourly, it's a little bit closer to that center line. You'd say, if this negative trend, say like right here, say like right over here, if this negative trend is going to continue, oh, there's the swing down. That right here was very close to crossing. Then the next bar it crosses, you see negativity. That's the trend play. Then right here, okay, we cross down for a brief moment, we see a little bit of negativity. But what I want to do is more look at signals in here so I can get a position early. And then if I want to add to that position, I can if I see more extension to the downside. So right now I'm saying right here was the last place to probably take that position because the hourly is saying, hey, we're going to cross down. And then as we hit the weekly expected move, that is something I use to convince me, hey, there could be some kind of bounce. So maybe I want to take profit in case something like this happens. And then if it's going to turn down again, I just find that signal again, right? I find that over here and then I play the downside. That's kind of swing trading the downside. But what I like to do a lot of the time is pay attention to the behavior of the dollar, pay attention to the sentiment of the PCC, and pay attention to volatility. Right now down here, you have the dollar that's dropping while the market's dropping. That's a signal to pay attention to. You have PCC really, really high. So if they want to hurt retail today, they rip this thing higher by the end of the day or next week. And then also the only last thing you don't have is any kind of reversal from volatility. You do not see the reversal from volatility at this moment. So that's the only difference between today and other days that we've called this out. Volatility is not rotating back down. You do not see reversal signals. So that could mean volatility is just going to pop through and go through the roof. Okay? But as the SPY approaches a weekly, approaches a monthly, the probabilities say from here we're going to remain in this area and maybe see this at least close here by end of day. Yeah, volatility is just going, man. You look at this on the daily scale. We talked about it actually closing above the 200. Remember back here, we kind of faded back down. That's kind of what you're looking for. But we had reversal signals here. We do not have them here. Okay, we do not have them right there. All right, this never confirmed back down. That was a big squeeze signal. So now we have to look if this is able to like wick out by end of day. But you are up by 33%. So you're seeing some of those times where maybe we don't even see that 85% chance work out. Remember, 85% chance for an update in the next 2 trading sessions based on the previous bar right here. But in the crash scenarios, that thing just takes off. And right now, it's just taking off. So we have to see how that ends by the end of the day, if that ends up giving us some kind of fade back down. Yeah, I look for it on a lot of different charts, Sloth, pretty much whichever one is showing me the best signal. So for the, like let's look at NVIDIA. Okay, so for NVIDIA, if I pull up this on a 30-minute chart, what am I noticing down here? Divergence. So since it is showing up on the earliest signal, I want to play that divergence on the 30-minute if this were to cross up. because that can cross up the 2 hour. Now, what are you noticing about the 2 hour? Well, the 2 hour could get a rejection divergence down here as well. So now I have it on 2 charts. So I'm starting to add up that if we see positivity here, it can be pretty damn positive. And then I can take into consideration the dollar dropping off, which hints that there might be some insider buying, maybe some dramatic insider buying. So with all those things together, if I see those things confirm, that's when I want to react. So then I see this 30-minute go like that, and I go, okay, that is green right here, very close to positive territory with a divergence. That can roll up the 2 hour. The 2 hour divergence rolls up. That means the daily can see a big move. All right, so that's why I'm paying attention to today very, very closely. Just because if this is going to go up and that dollar means something, that is a huge disparity. This is a huge disparity between the market. The market is way down, the dollar is way down. And that head and shoulders, that slanted head and shoulders we mentioned in the live video a few days ago, looks like it's adding up to something. We'll see. But if that reacts right away and just turns right back up, we want to watch out during a bounce or something like that if we're going to see some kind of move to the downside. So I'm really liking watching the Qs at this moment because they have an hourly divergence all the way across. Now you don't necessarily have that anymore. You have kind of multiple point divergence at this point. So we'll pay attention to that. You could just get some kind of little bounce like this, and then you make that 30-minute divergence by the monthly, but you're by an area where you're very likely to bounce. What do you think earnings will do for AMC? Well, it just depends on their earnings call, right? We already got the earnings. And I think the reaction to the restructuring of the debt was huge. So if they have anything to say about that, it really just depends on what they say in the call. This is, like I said, we didn't take this out of consideration. The dollar could be dropping because these big players are buying into AMC and GME, which would make sense why the market is dropping and the dollar is dropping at the same time. If the market is dropping because of AMC and GME that are going to see, say, a pop next week or something like that, that would make sense. But I don't want to read into the tea leaves too much there. I just want to go with the regular standpoint that's worked for me forever, which is if the dollar is down and the market is down, most likely insiders are buying this dip. That's all I can say. That's what it most likely means to me. But I need these things to prove in order to put my money where my mouth is. Same thing goes for AMC though. I need these things to prove in order to put my money where my mouth is. This is not proving, this is turning down. I need this 30-minute to actually turn up to put my money where my mouth is. Now, I already took a happy birthday present to me. I took a bunch of calls, only like, I think it was like 2 days ago, I bought $500 worth of calls for AMC, and I bought like $100 or $300. I think, let me just look. Yeah, about $300 worth of GME calls for the month of August. That's just a birthday present because if that thing rips at all during August, happy birthday to me. That's how I'm treating it. There is no technical behind that whatsoever besides this. The only reason I'm doing that as of right now is because you're really, really tight. You have all the moving averages close together. If you get one closing bar above this 200, you can see a major breakout. They're buying Bitcoin and Ethereum, and down at these areas that is potentially happening. We're seeing that curl back up. We're seeing that kind of want to build back up after breaking out, retest the area. Now we break to the upside. 4 hour was able to cross up. So this is telling you Bitcoin can more likely, at least in an hour and a half if this closes, more likely see some kind of bounce. And then in that move, we need to watch out for anything like that. We need to watch out for if this is some kind of head and shoulders proving itself right now. So we'll pay attention if this actually does bounce, because that looks likely if that crosses up on that MACD, and then we'll see if there's weakness right here on a shorter time frame. He's your boss now? Oh gosh, IWM really suffering, even though the yields are coming down. Are we gonna uninvert? We're very close to uninversion. You are 0.09 away from uninversion right now. Basic settings. I believe basic settings. Someone can double check that for me, but 12, 26, 9, close. Yeah, I don't try to overcomplicate things by any means. Now the Dow is still screaming to the downside. So that's something to pay attention to. This thing is screaming to the downside. This could be more than even I think. This could just be some kind of crash. It can. It's just the dollar's not necessarily behaving how you would expect it to during a crash, and we're starting to wick out by that weekly move. We'll see what happens over the next hour. We're going to be live for another hour here. You think you head straight lower? Well, volatility would say you're right. Why are you guys licking me? I just like look down and my ankles are being eaten by one of the dogs. That sounds so weird to say on stream. I just look down. I'm like, why are you licking me? It's like I'm talking to a person. And my dogs have people names. Alan, Bruce. It's like, Bruce, stop licking me. That sounds so weird. Costco. Is that Costco, right? Actually, you've made like a higher low here. Crazy that you failed that breakout. Let's look at a bigger signal. I would more so for Costco be paying attention to the daily scale, seeing if I can just cross and get a green bar above maybe even all of these moving averages. Once you get above like 841, yeah, you can consolidate towards 853. But if you can cross even above the 9, above the 20, say like 835 or something like that, you get this thing to cross up, you just have a swing trade to the upside. Now, you have to pay attention to reversal because you did have daily divergence here, so that can really make things pull down quickly. You see that? Boom, daily divergence, pulled down quickly. So now you got to see if that's able to rotate back up. Short Fridays is laughing because this Bruce keeps licking me. Ew. Ew, 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 ew. VIX now up 37%. Dang it, I should have held just all the contracts for a little bit longer. But I like to take profit. It's just my thing. I like to make money. Okay, now PCC going up towards 1.45. Let me see this. Friday, March 22nd. See how March 22nd we had that super high put ratio there? And we pulled down for just a couple of days and then boom, it popped to the upside. So a lot of the time stuff like that will happen. My time frame on my VIX options started out on a 30-minute. So on a 30-minute, this is when I bought the option. I saw the higher low, and I saw that there was buying. There was selling going on with the dollar while the market was going higher. So that crossed up, broke above 1683. I bought that position right here, sold that position right there, and then of course right there is where I sell it. Boom. But that's okay as long as it's profit. Profit's profit. Winning is winning. That's how I treat it. Not scared. Not scared of, making more money. Not going to be too bummed out about this. I'm just going to be thankful that I did make money in this play. AMD actually showing some interesting signals here as well. Looking at this from, I believe it's a 2-hour scale. You see the big 2-hour divergence down here. So weirdly enough, right when everyone's bearish on AMD, you're seeing triple divergence on the RSI. Divergence, well, flat into a divergence here for the MACD. So if that 2-hour can bounce, you got a shot to turn up on this daily scale. Where are we? We're right by that, by a level here in our zone, right? We're by that bottom of the zone. So if this daily can curl up, well, we have that 200 above us. We have a resistance up here. We're kind of in a consolidation going on here. So this can last for a long time. But for the most part, you would just say if that 2-hour can confirm up, we got a good shot to turn up the daily scale. Yeah, dirty Gerd, I get you. I get that feeling too. I try to get that out of my system really, really fast. You know what I mean? I try to get that out of my system. I try to just be like, I made money. That I got to be happy. But when you sell something and then an hour later you could have made like double what you made, you're kind of like, damn it. Oh gosh. Is what it is. Is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But we at least need a 30-minute curl up. Now, something that can happen today, that's a lot of puts. So I actually think if we're going to see a rigged move here, it will be V-shape. But what can happen is this could curl up end here, cross back down by the end of the week, by next week, and then we see that monthly move tested, we create that 30-minute divergence that really tells you like, hey, we are now going to curl up that 2-hour chart. We're now going to curl up those charts pretty well. Insiders are buying. See, that's how I see it. See the world. Me and you are seeing the world the same today. I think insiders are buying here. I think they're buying dramatically here, actually. But we'll see. PCC at 1.43. Look at that, guys. Look at that. It's hitting my level where a lot of traps, a lot of major traps happen. 1.413. Crazy, crazy. Oh my gosh, you're about 0.8 now from crossing TLT. God, I love my investment right now. My one investment is going up. Let's see what SPY does over the next 30 minutes or so. Remember, we're going to be live until for another hour here, and then we are going to be live back on YouTube later today for the close. For the last hour of the stream before the weekend, we are going to be watching what is happening. So join us back. Join us back later today. Make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you have those notifications on, all right? And if you subscribe, I'll shout you out on the live stream. I always do. You'll pop up nice and big. It'll say you subscribed, and we can celebrate you and welcome you into our channel, into our little community. Yeah, NVIDIA, I actually think NVIDIA is setting up some decent stuff here. You're seeing a lot of wicks keeping you in our buy zone. You're seeing a 30-minute divergence that it still can break down further. There is still room to go to make like a flat divergence, but if we want to keep that upward move, right now would be a great time to just see that start to build back. And a lot of people would be trapped at this point. You have to see that, right? If a rigged move to the upside would happen, if the insiders are buying and it's just not hitting the tape yet, and they're waiting for people to get overly bearish, that already happened, and they are extremely, extremely bearish, okay? So if they wanted to hurt the most amount of people by the end of the day, they're gonna really hurt these people, and those are puts. So if they really wanna hurt the maximum amount of people today, they probably end up doing something like that, just end in the middle, right? Now that can take a lot of time. We could see a reaction up, a reaction down, then head up to the upside. We'll see what happens with that by end of day. Volume's getting a little low, Jackson. Today is crazy in your face. In your inner phase. That's what it is. I always say in your face. It's inner phase. We'll see. We'll see. Like I said, I think we're going to catch back up to XLU. We already caught up to the downside of XLU, and while the SPY goes down, XLU starts to go up. Now we're just kind of, I think we're going to follow that. But that's an I think. That's an I think. What do I say about I thinks? They don't mean shit. You need the 30-minute to cross up. You need to see that signal. Hey, Daniel McKnight, thank you so much for subscribing today. Why did that not beep? I don't play weekly option contracts. No. My positions are anywhere from 2 weeks to 2 months out. Dude, let's turn on. Why are we listening to tunes? Today's a crazy day. Today's a crazy day. We gotta listen to some tunage. You know what I'm saying. No, that's not the right tunage. This might be the right tunage. Found a silver ring. Not allowed to sing on stream. They keep demonetizing me. Which means I'm on key. All right, volatility now up 40%. That is something to pay attention to. We'll see if they're actually going to rip this away from people. That is a big, big put to call ratio. There's a big move in the dollar coming down. An investor, my definition of investing is more buying the stock, not necessarily buying a call. That's just my take. I think if you're actually investing, then you're holding the physical stock, or you're taking a call and then you're ending up executing that position. Your class is the best. I took it again last night. Awesome, Solorific. I hope you're able to maybe refresh yourself on some things. Thank you for shouting out the course there. What's the highest I've seen the VIX? Oh shit, I think it was higher than this. The highest I've seen the VIX. So obviously 2020. Obviously 2020. But I wasn't necessarily paying attention to the VIX around 2020. I was more so this level here, 38 was probably the highest I saw the VIX. At least in the recent time. I really didn't pay attention to the VIX as much before 2020. After 2020, I started to pay attention to it all the time. So like 2020 caused me to really study the VIX. You really see my development over time. It's like I was just a swing trader, and then I wanted to learn more. I wanted to learn more. I wanted to learn more. I think something I'm reading right now is a psychology book, and it talks about the tarot card, the Fool. And it says a lot of people would think the Fool is a bad thing. Like the Fool, being a fool is a bad thing. But technically, a fool is a good thing. A fool is a good thing because you're someone who is not cocky and you're someone who always asks questions. You're always kind of eager to learn. That's technically what the Fool is. So I'm like the Fool. I always ask questions. I always want to learn more. If I see something, I'm not going to take it for what it is. I'm going to ask about it. Which I think helps me in politics and everything. Anything that bad that happens around the world, I don't say, oh my God, hip fire reaction, that's horrible. I go, that seems horrible. Let me read about it a little more. Let me look into it a little bit more. TA on GME. Let's go to GME. GME here, down outside of the weekly expected move. That's a big thing to pay attention to. We got rid of the divergence play here. We flagged out, heading down. So as of right now, everything is bad. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Everything is bad. This, bad. Why? Hey, negative territory pointing down on the MACD, kind of oversold. You can see bounces. 2 hour, why is that bad? Well, we're negative territory, turning down on the MACD still. No reversal signals in sight. The daily scale, what are we looking at there? Well, we have a MACD that did cross down into negative territory, and that means very bad things. Probably until earnings. We'll see what happens. But AMC, let's go look at that one too. So pretty much everything is negative on GME. Everything is bad for GME right now. That is key to understand. Your MACD is not turned up. What you're waiting for is a daily cross. You need this daily to cross up because that is big momentum to the upside. What you really need is unexpected buying from the market makers, from the short sellers. What can cause that? Earnings. But earnings can also be seen as bad news, and the market makers and short sellers are aware of this, right? So since they're aware of it, that's going to be something they can fight against. AMC, let's talk about that for a second. Because AMC had this major move, right? We saw this major move up with that restructuring of the debt. That's probably why AMC is holding up better, by the way, because it's had good news. But for the most part, you saw the reaction to that news, because it was unexpected, was very good. Then they halt the stock, right? They halt the stock. It comes up to this level. They say, if it goes to this level, we're shorting the crap out of it. They short the crap out of it. And now it's turned up. But does AMC even look good? No, not necessarily. It's turned over on a 2 hour. It's turned over on a 30-minute. And it's turned over on a daily. It wasn't able to cross. But look how close that is. If that crosses, they have some potential news that they're going to give out today. If that can close above the 200, I'd be happy. We haven't been able to. We've never been able to in these runs. So if you can start to do that, that means you took back all the moving averages. Exactly, Jonathan. That's kind of how I treat it, Jonathan. Now, I did a fun account, right? I did a fun play on my fun account. I gave myself a gamble for my birthday. As we're close for AMC to cross above this 200, I said, hey, by August 23rd, by my birthday, maybe we'll see something crazy. August 22nd is my birthday. The day after is what I took the option expiration for. Hey, yo. VIX headed for 50% now. Yeah, that thing's, this is what you see. You see volatility pop off. We have not seen the reversal to confirm this as a rigged move to the upside. But volatility is still popping. Q's still holding up pretty well for the volatility popping that hard. Nvidia's still holding this level. Just not 100% convinced. Dollar still dropped. They can hold it at low levels till the end of the day. BCC though, my god. S-Bucks, by the way, I saw someone mention Starbucks, so I'll check that out. I haven't looked at this in a while. 30-minute curled up. Possibility for some positivity. 2-hour curls up, more positivity. Was the daily able to curl up? It's black boats. Now, the reason I liked Starbucks in the past was because when someone asked about it, we said, hey, there's divergence down here. Saw a big move, reloaded. You can keep seeing big moves. We'll see. These are signals that I do enjoy to see. What I'd like to see is investment. Is this able to turn up on a monthly scale? Are we going to see positivity over time? Weekly? Are we curling up on a weekly scale? As of right now, it says, yeah, you're kind of curling up on a weekly scale, but big rejection there. So what I'd look for weekly, if that can close above this 9, you have an extended move that's possible. That's what I would say for Starbucks. Whoa! It's a eyeliner on her back. Spicy Avocado was pissed at Ryan Cohen because he changed his profile pic. I don't know specifically on those platforms. What I like to do is I like to take UVXY plays. Right? UVXY plays, which, God, I wish... I sold those right here. Thing is, my UVXY position not necessarily getting worse. With an emo girl. I like the song Emo Girl by MGK, sue me. The only position I've taken early is UVXY for like 300 bucks. Hey, Hustler Maniac, welcome, 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 and thank you for the $5. Yeah, the only one I took early was UVXY, just pretty much trying to be like, all right, if this fades, I'll make some money. But once again, it's a longer out position, so it's not even beating me up. So I'll show you guys on UVXY. I literally just as kind of a YOLO saying this is going to fade because the Qs and the SPY are down by that range. I took a position right here for downside for UVXY. But I still take a month out, right? And the funny thing about this position is I've only lost that's a big move. That's still another 5%. I've lost like 7%. Hustler Mania, thank you so much for the $5. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, I hear you, Spicy. You probably got your it's reason to be critical. Yeah, Steve's like, all right, so AMC goes down until the date your expiration expires, and then it turns up. Drive to 10 Palantir dropping down. Is it gonna save itself? Palantir looks kind of ugly there. Good thing the 2-hour divergence showed up all across this bad boy, right? Woo, that told us, oh, some bad things gonna happen. Hey, I get you, Hustler. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for the $5. It means a lot. We are crashing. And yes, we are crashing. I just want to pay attention in case there is a turn back up because the dollar is dropping off dramatically, hinting that there might be some insider buying. Are they buying AMC or are they buying regular stocks? Are they buying GME or are they buying regular stocks? That's kind of what I'm going through in my head right now. But volatility now up 51%. So we are, in fact, according to volatility, crashing. But are we? Are we? I mean, I know it's 2.4% down, but 50%, if volatility is up 50%, something I didn't really think about, volatility going up 50%, if that's not distributed to the downside, that means major, huge swings. There's about to be a snap somewhere then, because 2.4% is not is not enough for volatility going up 50%. Either we're going to see a snap in one direction. We're going to see a snap in one direction next week. Once this plays out, we're going to see a snap somewhere, either down or up, but that just tells me bigger swings. That's all volatility tells me. If I succeed my personal challenge, I'm buying both of your courses. Hey, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. That's fantastic. I think it'll help you out a lot, Hustler. It'll make things a little bit clearer, especially on the live video. If you watch these live videos, a lot, which I know a lot of people tune in every single day. If you're watching them a lot and you're still confused by some things, taking the course can really help you out with that. And in August, they're going to be 90% off. After August, we are going to put them back up in price. Market is not priced in the recession. That's what I'm kind of getting at, Jonathan. I'm like, if that dollar has nothing to say, if this is not insider buying for the stock market, volatility going up by 50% should cause the SPY to just kind of fall by like at least 5%. So what is going on here? Now, we know that volatility, how it's calculated are the positions. These are positions a month out. And so that would mean, hey, there are puts or not a lot of calls being taken out for the next month, is what this really tells me. And that's proven right here with the PCC. So pay attention closely. Dollar still dropping off. We have the potential for that rig move to show itself if we're going to see a snap back in the upward direction. If that does not confirm up in any way on this 30-minute, then that could still be distributed down over the weekend. Sava's tanking. SPY touching the 100-day moving average. It's true, Jonathan. We haven't, we can say the stock market's not pricing in recession. Yeah, I would say it's not pricing in recession at all. It's doing exactly what markets do, which is not price in a recession, and then you go into recession and something really, really, really bad can happen. But I just don't want to get overly bearish at any time. That is what I said about Zillow really helping me out with that super big loss back when I was first starting to trade, really, like seriously, taking it seriously. That was one of my biggest losses. And what that taught me was don't get cocky, always look at both sides. So volatility being really high, yeah, that can send us through the floor, but it hasn't. And so I want to be aware if this crosses up. I think this is very bear market behavior, Zomern. Very much so, this is bear market behavior. But we do have potential if we can cross up on like a 30-minute, really confirm something. We do have the potential to bounce next week just because the dollar is telling us that. But none of that is proven, so right now we should take it for what it is. Volatility is going through the roof. The SPY and the Qs are kind of falling through the floor. All right, so we want to pay attention as we hit that weekly expected move a couple times, see if that's able to build back. Because that is a very high put call ratio. So if we crash, retail is going to make a lot of money, and that doesn't happen very often. Let's see it. NVIDIA starting to bounce here. So if NVIDIA crosses, you got a good shot for a good move. Back up into this zone. That's the kind. You see what I'm saying? Okay, Charles, someone else is thinking like me. Yeah, Charles, I'm in the same boat. I'm like, yeah, the SPY's down 2.5%, but usually that only causes like a 20% move in volatility. But 50%, we should be down 5% probably. Actually, it's weakness in the dollar that can tell you about the selling. If you have if the dollar starts to get too strong, that's actually more of a sign that you're actually seeing a crash because people are going to cash quickly. Dollar not being strong, though, is kind of telling me, ooh, we might actually be seeing insider buying. The weakness in the dollar is saying more so, and maybe you're talking about compared to yen and things like that, but I'm more talking about just the fact if are people going into cash or are people going into stocks? This is a signal that says people are going out of cash into stocks. But we'll see. We got to see that stuff proven. Uh-oh. breakdown. Oh my god, I get to go see I Prevail in like a week and a half. So excited. Yeah, I'm gonna take a short on volatility soon. I've already made a position on volatility. And I'm looking at Tesla. The reason I'm looking at Tesla is because of the 2 hour. I'm really looking at this one. If I can confirm up on this hourly, I might take a stab at Tesla for the next couple of weeks. Well, gold in a crash can still crash, right? So if we're crashing in the spine of the Qs, gold can still crash. But if we're also seeing a rotation out of gold, it could mean, because like gold is something that's kind of a hedge for if some bad stuff happens, gold can hold its value. So if you're seeing gold crash down, it might actually mean that people might be going back to put that risk on. Like, you know, they're going back to risk. They might go back to tech stocks if they sell gold. We'll see. But I don't want to read too much into gold because we've seen gold rip around too much for it to really be something you want to read into. Look at these gaps. Gap, 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 gaps down, gaps down. So I don't want to try to read too much into gold. I want to pay attention to what I fully know. And at this moment, I know volatility is high. I know that the dollar is down and the market is down at the same time. Well, you're getting close to uninversion, so yeah, TLT making this move up. Now, a lot of the time we've been correlated with TLT and the market for a little bit. You know, at times we're correlated with the market, which would say, hey, if TLT is going up, maybe the market catches up. I'm more thinking we catch up to XLU. Yeah. Thank you, William. Thank you for the insight. Yeah. They could, but in crash scenarios, if you're going to crash and TLT is going to go up dramatically, the dollar still goes up. The dollar does not go down in a crash, even if there's a flight to that safety, right? The dollar will end up going up. So what we want to see here is if the dollar starts to turn back up and the market does not recover in any way, showing that rigged behavior proving itself, then we want to read into it. Because this could be buying of TLT and you just don't see the reaction of the dollar until next week. So there's a lot to pay attention today. That's why I will be live again at the end of the day. And just know, like, I'm trying to answer these questions quickly. A lot of the time I take in all these questions because I know there's going to be a lot of questions today. I think of it throughout my day and then I'll come back to the live video later and really try to have my thoughts collected. It's very difficult to just be like, what is happening right now? Figure it out. I'm trying to do my best, but what I might need is to eat some good lunch on it, think about it for a couple of hours, and then come back with that assessment. As of right now, it looks like there's insider buying. No, Sam L. You can take it as many times as you want. Actually, someone Solarific just came in. They said they rewatched some stuff last night. No. Once you buy it, you bought it. It's yours. You got it. If there's something you want to refresh yourself, go check it out. Yeah, you can log in 1,000,000 times. Thank you for asking, Sam. NVIDIA, yeah, NVIDIA we're looking at. Seeing if that's able to curl up on a 2 hour, on a 30-minute. 30-minute for NVIDIA, very important. Sava. Sava selling off on the 30-minute. Slight divergence here, so that makes sense. What we want to first see, did the 2 hour curl over? No. Okay, so since the 2 hour has not curled over and you get this wick, what could happen here? 30-minute is trying to confirm a little bit of a sorry, 30 minutes actually trying to confirm a swing trade. This could be a very brief swing trade, but if this is able to confirm by crossing on this MACD, you can see another move higher, and then watch out for maybe triple divergence in this area. If you just do this and then curl back down, that can be a bad sign. To show you an example of this, Steve, to show you an example of this, I'm actually going to look at Palantir on a 2-hour. Palantir on a 2-hour, you see these moves, right? So you see how we just keep curling up very lightly and then we keep rejecting? You can keep doing this on something like Sava, and then eventually you're going to get to negative territory and drop. So that's what I'd look for. I found me. I mean, I would say this, as far as volatility goes, if we're going to see a snapback, I really think we retest that 20 level. But as we are breaking out of a key area, right, we're breaking through. Really zoom out on this. You see how we're breaking through these highs? We're breaking through this little high right here. We could just rotate down on a 30-minute and test this trend line. Let me extend that out a little bit. Yeah, it's still on. So what I would say is if we're going to retest and then just see volatility come back in, just a dead cat bounce type of thing, then a retest of this area towards 23.64, and then we start to turn up. So anytime I touch that trend line, what would that be from here? That'd be a 15% drop. So that's what I'd be looking for. And I just watch volatility, and then if it hits that level and I see it turn back up, if I see this and then it turns back up, I get out of my short on volatility. It's true, in your face. Tesla hitting the daily downside move as of right now. All right, we are officially in the zone 2. Awesome. Look for this hourly here. See if that can turn up, but the 2-hour signal is the main one. 2-hour can turn back up. You got a positive move for Tesla. That's what it says. That's what your chart's saying. If this can curl up right here, that's all it has to do. Now, that's not guaranteed. Right now, the option is downside. That's all it's saying. Until that curls back up, that's when you can react. My SOS, yeah, you rescue me. Thank you, Charles. Thank you for saying that. DJ T not looking the best, man. Wait a second here. Curling up on the 2-hour. Not too far away from the center line, but a little bit. No divergences. You're just trying to curl up. Is there a daily swing trade? Oh, snap. Okay, this is actually kind of good. If the daily can take back these moving averages to 200, curl up here. Look for that daily cross up. Whoa, daily crosses up. That could be a good sign. You have divergence here too, by the way. Let me blow up the RSI. Flatness on the RSI. You have divergence here too, by the way. You actually have divergence at these levels if you really pay attention to those wicks. Or you really pay attention to the close of the bar. Close of the bar here. Close of this bar here. Right in this red bar. That's a divergence if that can confirm. There, it seems to be there's no resistance for the VIX right now. I'm just telling you. VIX up 53. See, it's going higher, but the market is just going. Let's see that monthly expected move. See if I want to start a position. Can't think I'm feeling till our hearts go numb. Intel is just awful right now, isn't it? Only 4.5% to go until circuit breaker. Take a quick look at Wolf. Yeah, Sammy, let me look at that for you real quick. What is Wolf? Hold on. TeraWolf. 30-minute divergence setting up, but not there. Not confirmed yet, right? This rejection led to a bounce. Now you're double dipping, like triple dipping. So see if that can turn back up. That would be a good sign, but right now this is very, very negative, all right? 2 hour could go make a divergence, right? So we can head lower. So right now your direction for the 2 hour says we should be bouncing, but if I cross, that's bad. Maybe hourly setting it up. I'd pay attention to hourly. If the hourly can dip lower or just stop, maybe go like this for a second and then see that confirm back up. You need this hourly to turn back up. It is negative right now. So that is saying most likely on the hourly scale, Wolf goes down until that turns back around. Sorry, Sammy. I know. I wish. I have to tell you. I have to give it to you straight. No, it doesn't mean all hope is lost. You can see those things turn up. We'll see. So is GME a no-go? As of right now, GME is saying straight down. But it's kind of a... I'm going to tell you this. Here's how I'll put it. I'm still holding the stock. I in no way am phased by GME. That's why you never see me freak out about it. I'm just holding the stock. And if the big moment happens in the next year, awesome. If it takes 3 years, I'm still going to hold the stock. I might add more to it if it goes down towards like $13 or something. That's all I'm saying. I'm just holding it. The reversal signals are not here for GME. I'm just going to be honest. Now, AMC does have potential on that daily scale, but right now, the reversal signals from what's happening right now, not there. Not there. Things can change by the end of the day, though. We'll see what they say with the earnings call, but you need this daily to turn up. If you want GME to have a chance, as it is negative on that MACD, you want AMC to help it out. You want AMC to start to turn up. You want it to cross up on this MACD. That's what I have to say about that. True diamond hands. It's not hard to have diamond hands if you just understand what is happening. If you just sit there and you hold it. It's just the problem is everyone wants things to happen tomorrow. But history showed us that it saw pop and then it took like 8 months. So we're just like, my sentiment is hold the stock. If I want to, at the beginning of every month, I can buy a call option. Don't use an amount of money that's going to hurt me and my family. Good. Okay, this song sucks right now, so I gotta change this song. Okay, this is starting to hurt my head. Ah. Oh, god dang it. I gotta find new music here, because this is trash right now. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This song gets me going. DJ T just curled up on the 30. Uh-oh. 2 hours what I'm watching, man. Or I'm sorry, I think it was hourly. Was it hourly? Or was it daily? I just looked at it. It's daily. Daily's what I'm really watching, but you want a chance for that daily to turn up? 2 hours crossing up, man. Weird. I'm doing it. How much time do I got? 25 minutes? I'm confident. Yeah, but there's a short seller problem. I'm literally buying like 2 contracts, guys. Not using the main account for that one, but so these are SMAs. So this is 200 SMA, this is a 50 SMA, this is a 20 EMA, and then I have a 9 SMA. It's what I've used for a long time, NF. Get some TQQQ is what Scott is saying he's doing. 30-minute, we got to see if that can turn back around. Is this put ratio? Starting to see calls come back in. Dollar starting to pop a little bit there. Volatility, still going through the roof. Oh my gosh, 57%. Damn it. I could have made so much money today. Holy shit, I could have made so much money today. That's a bummer. Dow just screaming lower. Nothing about that says anything good. But why are the Qs and the SPY not like down 5%? For DJT, I think over the next couple of weeks, if this 2 hour is able to curl up, I'm looking for that reaction to something like 37. But if we're going to see something big, maybe you see something big, right? If you see something big over the next few days, yeah, I would say 37 is good. If you're going to see something bigger, this resistance level here, 53.84, over the next maybe month and a half. Honey, it already did. All right, let's turn on some hype music while this Q is trying to find some ground here. I think NVIDIA is something very good to pay attention to, by the way. Its signal is very, very good here if that can turn up. It holds a heavy weight. Apple's still positive, so if we're crashing, why is Apple not crashing? You got, if we are crashing, why is Apple not crashing? That's kind of my thought here. I'm like, interesting. And I've actually used that thought in the past. AMD is curling up on a 30-minute. NVIDIA, though, I think is the main one to watch here. NVIDIA and Tesla. I actually really like Tesla at these levels. Don's back. I'm not your friend. Born from the depths of the 36 chambers. Sorry, I'm rocking out. No reversal in sight for this. No reversal in sight. I should have left one contract, like some kind of runner. Qs. Let's keep our eye on it for a little bit. GME is not looking good, Jack. You need a daily to turn up for GME. You at least need the 2 hour to curl up for GME. You're just not seeing it. We talked about it about 10 minutes ago. Whip rain, summits out of head plane, head bang, Mandalay Bay Hotel, but a lead cane. Sex change can get you caught up in death's rain. Jack, I can tell you how I'm doing things with GME. I am holding it. And the reason I'm doing that, I just want to do this one last time for the GME AMC people out there. The reason I'm doing that is because I have no idea when that moment could happen. I can pay attention to momentum and do an option play. That's what I've done in the past, but I'm still looking for that signal for that option play for the most part. Just bought something for my birthday, but the way it works is they are going to actively fight the stock and fight the stock and fight the stock unless they can convince you to sell. If they can convince everyone retail to sell all their stock, that's the only time that it like can go to zero. So what I say is if I just hold the stock and if enough people hold the stock, it'll go up. It could take a year. It could take 5 years. I don't care. I'm chilling. but I'm not using an amount of money that hurts me. You know what I mean? That's a key thing. So I have no emotion behind holding the stock. I'm just like, cool, if it pops up, dope. What are the key indications we're looking for? So for GME though, if you want a key indication for when this thing can see a big run, it's when the daily crosses up into positive territory, we can see big moves. You'll see that run right here. Boom, crossed up, big move the next day. We mentioned that. Now the next one is going to be right over here. Boom, crossed up, bigger move, right? Big move right there. Awesome. Now down here, you crossed up on the MACD. You started to build up over time. Once you went positive on this bar, this strong bar here, consolidation, boom, big move. Okay, so daily cross-ups are really what I pay attention to for GME and AMC. And then at the same time, we give you a little bit better stuff here. We tell you that weekly move. So if you want to get a big squeeze, you have to get above these expected moves by the options market. This is what the market maker expected for this week. We're going to update this on Sunday, but this is what the market maker expected this week. So you need to get above that so they can't control it. If you stay below that, this is where they will fight it. But if you can really get above that, they lost control. That's where you can most likely see gamma squeeze. Up here, it's where you're most likely to see gamma squeeze, higher probability. But we're not there. We're going the opposite direction. I have 1,500 of each, pretty much. And then I use like $1,000 back and forth to trade it. So to pay for my current option buy for AMC, I'm going to tell you guys what I did. You might hate me for it, but it's what I did. So on the 30-minute here, I saw this divergence. So I said, hey, I'm holding the stock still, but I know they're trying to fight it. So I bought a short right here. I took profit on that down here this morning. Didn't tell you guys about it, but I did. And I took profit here. Immediately, I just go, okay, cool, birthday present. Let's add to that. I'm like, if they're going to rig it to the downside, then I'm going to benefit with them while holding the stock. And then I'm going to use that money to buy the option for a month to the upside. And then I just sit and I hold it. I'm using their own game against them at certain times to keep buying the stock. Dang, you sold that, Sid. Hopefully that was good. That's awesome. And NVIDIA looks like it could have some potential reversal happening here if it can cross up. So let's pay attention if this thing crosses up. Intel has no reversal signals in it. That is a massive, massive drop. If you're buying at that point, you need to go through and see if it's at your support levels and if it's a comfortable place where you're willing to hold the stock for a long time, because that is a bad, bad drop. Doesn't mean it can't recover. I just don't see reversal signals for a trade. SPY on the daily chart looking pretty ugly, right? Let's look at this daily chart. Where are we? We're right by that center line. Imagine we actually curled up from here. What are we doing as well? Well, this was our breakout area. We're retesting that area, which happens to be right by the monthly expected move. So let's see what happens here, because you do have 2-hour divergence forming. So let's pay attention for a little bit. Qs, what are you doing on the daily scale? Well, you're curling over, you're going negative. That's a terrible look, right? We saw that there was divergence for the Qs at the highs. Awesome. Then it heads down. Nothing here is surprising to me. But what are we doing? We're testing that level where we broke out from last. So this is where you can start to see bounces. You see all the highs. We're right there. So this would make sense to get a bounce from here. Not saying this is going to bounce, by the way. I'm saying we're seeing signals that could, if they turn up, lead to a bounce. Lead to a big bounce, maybe. NVIDIA is one of the ones I'm really watching. It could. I think it would be unlikely. I think retail would make way too much money. I think retail would make way too much money. But you never know. Things can always break through areas. Stocks can do whatever they want to do. I just got to try to read the signals that are in front of me right now. Is the volatility reversing? We can go check on volatility for a second. No. Nope, nope, nope. It is not. But you're just seeing some signals, man. You're seeing NVIDIA with this signal here. You have pretty much divergence there. Crosses up, positivity. AMD crossing up, positivity. 2 hour can cross up, you'd see some big positivity. So by no means do I think the stock market is like dying off right now. We'll have to see. I'm not more so saying I need more price action. I can't look at this for like, what, 2 hours and be like, yes, this is it. This is the moment. It's more like I need to see it for a couple of days to see how it's behaving, see what signals form, see what signals confirm, and then we can make a decision. As of right now, on the daily side of things, I think the SPY is going to catch up to XLU. I think the SPY is going to catch up to XLU. I think you're going to see something like that as of right now. That's what I think. But I need the trades to actually I need the signals to confirm those things. You know what I mean? IWM, I think that should be going up since the yields are coming down, but it's not. So IWM dropping off dramatically below that. Notice this, we gap below the weekly expected move. We touch it, then we gap below it. Sneaky, sneaky Wall Street. Now we're heading into an area of gap support. We'll find out what happens there. We got some good support levels around this area. So we're kind of in a little zone where we could see a snapback, but is that just going to pop up and curl back down? I don't necessarily see this full recovering. I don't see those signals. I see if there is a bounce, I need to see if that rotates back down because this MACD is pretty deep. Looking for some kind of divergence before that pops. Which weirdly enough, if you see this, that would lead into right into GameStop earnings. Interesting. You're gonna burn the whole house down. Home builders are holding. Yeah, and I like to look at the housing sector for a lot. That's really dropping off. The 3x leverage that I like, nail, daily home builders is dropping, 8% down, 9% down. But that is the leveraged one, 3x. Netflix. Ooh, wait a second, Google. What are you doing to us here? Google, are you just going to turn up on an hourly? We're seeing a lot of signals that could, if they do cross, we can see positivity. That's all I'm going to say. We could see it. But they have to confirm, guys. You can't just YOLO stuff. You have to see confirmations on your charts. That is my tip of the day. Apple and AMD are up. That's what I was just saying a second ago too, Jonathan. I was like, if we're crashing, then it doesn't matter what Apple earnings said. We're crashing. But Apple is the stock that is my most traded stock. Apple, every single time you see a big downturn, Apple is the dictator of, are you going to save the market or are you not? So Apple holding at higher levels is keeping the market afloat. I know, AMD dropped. It was super fishy because this dropped and Nvidia still benefited the whole time from AMD's earnings. So weird. And then Nvidia drops, but it didn't drop as dramatically as AMD. So all of it's super fishy there. Nancy Pelosi was like, don't drop that more. Apple might save the market again. Tesla doesn't necessarily have the put swing showing as of right now. The time to take the put swing would be when you're crossing down going negative, maybe up in this area. You see this bar right here? Red bar below the moving averages, head down towards the zone. That's more when that would be applied. At this moment, you want to pay attention because you have 2 hour signals forming. So if you're looking for a swing from here, you need this to pop up and pop back down. Pop up like this, roll back down. Then you have a chance to test the logo, make a new one. Oh yeah, AVGO, what's that one doing? Yeah, what we should do is, this is going to be a 2 hour divergence as well, isn't it? Yeah, it's going to be probably an hourly is more clear, but yeah, you have hourly triple divergence here for AVGO. It's kind of like, you know, the signals that I'm seeing, I'm like, I don't know which one I'm going to react to. Way down. Stocks are way down. Oh, they're way down. I still think Nvidia is important to watch, so I'm going to leave it on here. Look at that hourly. Oh my goodness, that is such a divergence. Daniel, let me think about it over the weekend. Ask me again on Monday. I want to see what happens over the weekend. And I want to see what the reaction is Monday morning, and then I'll probably be like, okay, is AMC making the pop? Really, what's giving me encouragement like that there's going to be a pop in the market is the dollar dropping and these divergences. But at the same time, what's giving me encouragement is something like AMC just being this tight is cool because you're so close to crossing. If we just did that, I would be so encouraged to say that AMC is going to see a big move. That's all I need is a closing bar above here. You see, we just can't do it. They never allow it. So that's when I'll be saying, you know, we get a green close above this. That's when I'll start to be saying, okay, something different is happening here. Someone said Nvidia will go to 95. It will eventually, but probably not right now. I think you got a good shot of this. If GME and AMC are going to pop this month, then I think you got a good shot to do this. Get a lower high, then start to curl down, and then we'll see around earnings. Or this could just do this before earnings, right? It could do anything. But I'm just seeing if that daily can cross up. Nancy Pelosi hasn't sold her stuff of Nvidia yet, so I'm going to guess. But earnings around the corner, we'll see. I don't know if it happens this week, but I think you definitely will get down to here eventually, right? That's the breakout area. You will get there eventually, but I just think that might take more time. Maybe it rejects from here, then turns down. Like a daily divergence would be so nice before earnings. Boom, boom. That would be a nice setup by 95. Hey, no making fun of people for their input. We want to encourage people to give their input, even if you disagree. Will it hit the range today? I don't know. Let's see, what is the range actually? I gotta refresh myself on what that range is. Sick. I mean, the range is definitely possible. You're just getting really, really, really oversold. I mean, you're pointing towards it. Right now, the 2-hour MACD is saying that's a probable thing to happen. I'm just watching a little 30 minutes to see if there's any kind of move up. Uh-oh. Whoa. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Volatility not dropping off, though. It's really starting to add up that we might not even go to all-time highs, though. Just depends on how much is in. We'll watch this move if it's going to bounce up with this 2-hour divergence. We'll watch it, but you could just see something like this, 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 and be done. We'll see. We'll just have to watch it closely if that bounce would come. I'm really thinking Nvidia is the one to watch, so I'm going to leave it on here for the next 5 minutes while we close up the stream soon. The uh-oh. Yeah, and Dave, if we read into that statement you just said there, if we read into that a bit, it's like retail would make too much money if the market dropped more. They would make way too much money. They don't like that. So weirdly enough, with VIX being up 58%, usually when the VIX is up 58%, you should at least be down by 5%. Screw that. Usually, like if the VIX is up 58%, the SPY should be down like maybe 7 to 15%. That is a crazy, crazy thing to happen today. It's a lot of fun. But no, the SPY's only down like what? 3? 2.5? 2.5. So retail would make way too much money at this point. But we'll still just look at the signals that are in front of us. I think NVIDIA, if they're going to use a stock to really build this back up, it's going to be NVIDIA. NVIDIA, Apple, maybe even Microsoft. See if that's able to buy back. Google had an okay signal down here. AMD is starting to pop. But what you want from me? What happened to PayPal? Something happened to PayPal today? Whoa! Look at that tapering. Well, I know we talk about tapering to the downside, but look at this to the upside. Ooh. Ooh. Bop. Great. Divergence all across on the 15-minute. I don't watch 15 minutes too often, but rejection here. That is a bad move. That is a bad drop, but there were signals at the top there. Chug some water. Ooh, I just got a tingle down my back. I think I pinched a nerve. It doesn't feel good, guys. Hey, that's Fax McFlash, actually. Tesla about to turn into a cell phone company, an email company, a full-on tech company. Tesla trying to turn into a car company and Google at the same time. All right, you want some mayo? Marina wants some mayo on it. Let's help out AMC. Actually, I think GME needs more help. Let's be nice to GME today. We'll be nice to GME today. Wherever my mayo is. There it is. Squirt, 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 squirt. Bit more. Squirt, 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 squirt. Okay. That might have been too much. Now it's gonna go to 1,000. That was a little too much. What's this in my aid? Sorry, AMC is gonna be okay. We really need to help out GME today. You haven't heard the word squirt? Have you ever drank squirt? You've never drank squirt before? You never gone to the grocery store when you were in college and bought some squirt to mix with your vodka? Some squirt? 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 Wait for it. Squirt. Toll. Squirt toll. Squirt toll. Okay. All right, we're done. The VIX is crazy easy gold for you. My goodness, that VIX is popping. Popping. All right, guys, so for today, we are going to end the stream for now, but we will be back later today for the closing stream. We're going to see what develops over the afternoon. Let me gather my thoughts, see what's going on in my brain, see if we can figure out what's going on here. I still believe that these stocks SPY and the Q should be dropping a lot more if volatility is that high. That's what I gotta say. Off 18% at Bungie, Sony. Whoa. Oh man. I liked there for years. Environment artists. Man, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry for that. I'll try to help you learn as much as possible, but you know, Bungie and Sony laying off some people. We're going to see more and more of that, you guys. I don't like to see, you know, I know unemployment's higher and we talk about watching that, but we have to understand, like, I really want you to think about it and say, unemployment is a terrible thing. That is Americans being affected and not being able to pay their rent. It is people going into a bad situation. So at the end of the day, let's be thankful for what we have. And I'm sorry to hear if anyone out there has lost their job. Just know, like, you know, always get back on the horse. Always keep working. Keep finding that scenario. Keep finding the things that you can get into if you've lost that job. And I'm not even going to tell you, mention the course or anything. Just pay attention to what's going on. Find something you're dedicated to. If it happens to be this, I think that would be fantastic. And I'll try to help you. All right? Have your course. Awesome. Take that course again. Refresh yourself. Really do this for me, Sid. Really take a step back. Don't try to make money quickly. If you need the money, do not try to make money quickly, right? If you can really get good at daily charts or even 2-hour charts and really practice patience and practice managing the trades, you will be better than like 90% of people out there if you add all those things together. So for real, slow it down. Slow it down. Slow at first. Slow at first. You have to crawl before you can walk. You have to walk before you can run. Ask my baby, right? She wants to walk. She keeps falling over. We're like, no, you got to be on your belly. You got to learn to crawl. And actually, before you crawl, you got to learn how to sit by yourself, right? So take that into consideration. Treat yourself like the fool. Treat yourself like you're a baby going into the stock market if you're someone who is relatively new. Try to sit first. Slow things down. Be patient. You will get to the point where you can run, but the worst thing you can do is hurt yourself while sitting, trying to run, and then not be able to run in the future because you broke your leg. All right? So overall, guys, I think a couple of the ones to look for if we're going to reverse from these levels. PCC is high, dollar is dropping. That could be inside buyer. That could be inside buying. A couple that I do like at this moment, I do like NVIDIA. I'm just going to leave this one on the screen because I do like this setup. Make sure things are confirming. We're going to leave this on the screen for a little bit here, but I have to take off. We have to go check on my family's out of town, so I have to go check on a cat, weirdly enough, and then shoot some guns. So after I shoot some guns, I'm sure my head will be nice and refreshed, and I can come back, look at these stocks, and then go live with you guys to tell you guys what I think. All right, guys. Hopefully you guys have a great day. Make sure to stay safe out there. Trade like water. It's the best advice I can give you. Trade like water. You guys know exactly what that means, all right? Have a great day. I'll see you guys at the end. I'll see you guys in the last hour of trading today. Peace. What do you want to say to them? Can you say bye? No, don't touch the mic. She's saying bye by touching the mic, guys. Wow, Nvidia is going up. Isn't that crazy? That's kind of crazy, isn't it? Yeah. You see, that's called a MACD. And that is showing some possible divergence. Yeah, it is. It is. You want to say bye? You can't say bye. You can say hi. We don't have the camera set up. You can't show yourself on the camera. What stock do you think is going to go up? AMC. Oh, really? I think that's a little speculative right now. Baby girl. All right, guys. Have a great day. I'll be back later. Turn it off. Be safe out there.